All right, and it is live. So, everybody, welcome to the live edition of Put It in the Cart podcast. Finally got that right. Hooray to me. And I am here today with a fellow host and a brother of mine, Fidel, Mr. Commander Kit Bash himself, and a great, awesome friend and a talented artist, Mr. Martin Farrell. Martin McCuster, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm a little hungover.
Hey, it's one of those weekends. It is. It is.
It has been.
He's living life.
I had to have my few glasses of sangria and call it a night last night myself. Like, so yeah, I'm a pretty lightweight, but that's it. That's all I need. So
I wish it was that easy for me. I didn't really get drunk. Polished about half a bottle of Jack Daniels and just thought, sod this, I'm going to bed. Yeah.
Did you mix anything with it, or you just drink like?
With Jack Daniels, you have to because it tastes like crap. No one drinks that straight. I'm not a Philistine.
I was like, hey man, maybe he's just like he's
see
cold like that. He just
see these Texans judging me already. Fidel heard whiskey and he thought, well, yeah, what do you know about whiskey?
I just think, hey man, Martin's like real freaking dude over here. He's just drinking Jack Daniels straight from the bottle. It's like, okay, man, you do
it.
Bullshit.
It's weird. I can drink whiskey 24 hours and you know, just I'd still go home pretty fine. You give me anything else, fucked.
Really?
Oh man. Wine, dead. Tequila, naked and dead.
Beer?
That's not a drink. That's not a drink. That's what I drink to hydrate.
There you go.
Drink beer, I've got a pot belly. That's it. Beer.
Exactly.
No need for that language.
Ron doesn't do beer.
No, I don't. I can't stand this stuff. I can't stand it.
oh man, so Marty, knowing you, like I know you've been really invested with your music. Have you like? I'll get to that in a second. But as far as like figures, have you picked up like anything new recently or no?
Oh God. To be honest, everything that I'm doing at the moment is centered around the music, man. Because you know when you're kind of because I don't have a band. It's just me.
Mm.
That could be costly. It's basically like another job that I don't get paid for.
So you're paying for like the recordings that you're doing and everything right now.
Everything.
Right.
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, everything.
Some dudes like backing up and everything. Like, hey, you know, there's a well of money that we're kind of pulling into. It's like, no, it's just you. Holy shit, man.
Just me, man. So you learn to do things yourself pretty quickly, so you don't have to keep paying people to do it. Like all the artwork and everything, that's all me. That's why it's crap. You're supposed to laugh at that. You're not supposed to agree. Everyone's just like, oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
That's why it's crap, is it? Oh, that's right. Brilliant.
I mean, Marty, you could just always hit me up, dude, too.
No, I know. I appreciate that. But I know the struggles. So I don't want to be pressuring people. But now that you've said that live, I will.
I'll hold you to it,
motherfucker. So, yeah. So I think, let me think. What was the last thing I picked up? I think it might have been something Mafex. I don't remember, to be fair. What springs to mind, the last thing I was really excited about was the Lim Toys 112 Leon.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big, huge Resi fan, lifelong, man. It was the first game I had on PlayStation, aside from Crash Bandicoot. So yeah, I mean, I'm addicted to that series. I'm probably one of the few people that has loved every release.
Even 6?
Even 6, man.
Wow.
I'm blinded fanboy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was one. 6. You know, the problem is with the story of Resi, right? Every release was like the virus has now turned into something that you have to deal with in a different way, right? Yeah. So 6 was inevitable.
Yeah.
Right, it was inevitable. And I think people forget that even when you look back at the original trilogy, right? You had Resi 1, you had Resi 2. Resi 2 had to kick up the gear from Resi 1, right? Because otherwise you're playing the same thing over and over again. Then Resi 3 which really wasn't as good as people like to act. Because when the remake came out, they were like, there's nowhere as good as. Yeah, it is as good, but they cut out too much. That was the problem. But it started introducing the whole dodging mechanic, and it was mostly action, right?
Right.
And there wasn't really a huge survival element to it because there was a lot of resource. I mean, you were making your own ammunition in that game and things. So they just took that formula and carried it on, you know?
It just kept
that's it. It had to. Unfortunately, the formula is flawed in that respect. It has to go somewhere. And a perfect example of that was 7.
Yeah.
7 is one of the best Resident Evil. And I hate first-person games. I live in first person. Don't want to fucking play a game in first person while in first person. What's the point? But I digress. Great Resident Evil game. But where do you go from there? Because it was so tense. You had to pick up the action. And that's where Village come in. Still a good game. But after that, the only way you're topping that after Village is an alien invasion, right? Yeah. So you've got to keep changing it. New characters in those environments. But that's the curse of that formula. It's got to go all out at some point, unless you just stray away from those main characters.
Or unless it just keeps on like diluting itself, like it just keeps going down, and it's just a repetition type of thing. It's like it's not going to go anywhere.
That's it. That's exactly it. See, unfortunately, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like Resident Evil 8 or Village was basically 7's like version of like Resident Evil 3. I think, in my opinion, it's kind of like a more condensed version, but it's like, oh, okay, there's more stakes. But to be quite frank, I don't give a damn about Ethan Winters though. he's kind of a shit protagonist, honestly. And
I think in Resident Evil 7, I don't think we were really meant to give too much, to really care about him too much. You know what I mean? I agree with that sentiment though. But I think with Resident Evil 8, they tried to make him a bit more relatable, and I think it started to work because, you know, as a father as well, I was like, oh shit, and I would probably have to do that too if that happened, you know, begrudgingly. I'm probably gonna die now. Yeah, probably die now. But the problem is, it just ended too soon, didn't it? But yeah, I don't care about ever seeing him again.
Yeah, me too. It's like I'm ready for the series to move on, because I love 2. Like getting back to it, it's like 2 was probably the first game that I remember playing as a kid.
Love that game.
Which is weird saying because I was probably like 8 or 10 years old or something whenever that game came out. But that was like the first video game that I actually remember playing, and it's fucking awesome, man. It's a great game.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the Resident Evil 1 remake, which they initially released on the GameCube, if I remember correctly, that's probably the perfect Resident Evil game. That and the Resi 2 remake are just pinnacle of Resident Evil.
And I would buy like just straight up the whole line if they made toys of all of those guys, man.
I'm glad they haven't, because I would probably not be releasing any more singles.
A ton of stuff, man. Because man, like imagine like buying those like end game bosses, just like the different versions of
that would be cool.
Ranker, forget his name right now. But the scientist at the very end, the one that just transforms into like 4 different
William Birkin.
Birkin, that's what it is.
Yeah, from number 2. Yeah,
there's like those old school versions that you could buy still that have like 4
NECA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got the NECA ones, and then you had the what was the company that was it Toy Biz? Was it them that done the ones in the 90s?
I think it was Toy Biz because they were on those glass shells.
I know Palisades.
You're talking about the Toy Biz 2-packs, right? Like the old school ones?
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, some of them were pretty cool for the time, you know, considering, you know, what they were. And then Palisades done some stuff, but that was when they didn't really care about articulation. You know, it was just your arms can move. That's good enough.
Which is where we're gonna throw a jab at McFarlane, and that's basically what their motto is. Still.
Well, he's the master of making you think it's got lots of articulation, and then it's a break.
Yeah.
Where are you at, Dante? We need your hate. We need to power up your hate here.
Dante's about to just come in like Superman and just he's like, wait, y'all talking about McFarlane?
But the thing with McFarlane is, I mean, I have a lot of respect for the man. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He's, anyone I think in our age group grew up
He's a fucking rock star.
reading Spawn. Yeah, man. Love Spawn till this day, and I still love him as a comic book artist. But his toys, and it's the people. Sometimes you just hate something because of its fan base. I probably wouldn't dislike McFarlane toys as much if it wasn't for his fucking fan base.
Yes.
And if there is anyone watching, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that whenever it comes to just anything, any fan base, the people that are so against critique, that's what makes me hate it. Honestly, like they think, hey, this is all good. This is 100% like fantastic. It's like, yeah, dude, I love NECA figures. Like you can see this shelf right here.
Yeah.
It's like 100%, or like I want to say 90% NECA figures. But I can tell you without a doubt that it has some issues, and they've had some issues for the longest time.
They do, but they are getting better. That's that. At least they're getting better. Like look at NECA now versus 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think Marvel Legends fans are probably the worst for that. They're just like, well, it's the best bang for your buck. It's like,
especially not now, dude.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they're up in the price to basically $30 for Marvel Legends, which I don't know how much you guys pay over there, Martin, because I know it's always
it depends. But you're looking at about 25 to 30 quid, yeah.
But
for a fucking Marvel Legend, and you better hope they don't have eyes because they won't be facing forward.
Yeah,
and that's for the basic Legend, like a basic one, not a exclusive or anything like that.
I mean, let's think. So the new, I can only go by what's coming out because I've been eyeing it up. The new Vulcan, Gabriel Summers, that's coming because I'm definitely going to get that. Which makes me feel dirty, but I love the character. I won't tell anyone about that though. I'll just be like, stick it on the shelf. I've always had that. It's a custom. That's $24.99, but that's pounds. So I mean, considering it doesn't have butterfly joints, I mean the only reason I'm even entertaining it is because he's got orange eyes. He doesn't have pupils. Otherwise, you'd be. Forget it. Marvel Legends,
At least he comes with like alternate hands, but the fact that I think it just comes with a Build-A-Figure piece is probably what's jacking up the price on it a little bit, because it's honestly a basic figure.
It's very basic.
Basic. It's a very basic buck. Like it's like completely that Spider-Man buck. I forget what they actually, what was the first one.
Fuck, I don't know. It's. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I mean, they have their place,
Yeah. For sure.
Again, it's their fans. It's their fans that think it's the best brand. And I'm like, have you seen what else Hasbro do? It's not even the best brand that they have.
Yeah, because honestly, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, like they have some good accessories to them. Even though
better bodies, yeah, because they use the same for the GI Joe stuff, don't they? They use the same bucks, don't they?
Yeah.
But for me, Transformers, I mean, the love they put into those, especially now, with the Siege, the War for Cybertron line, especially, incredible. And I think it's the best Transformers has been in a long time outside of Masterpiece, which isn't even that good anymore either. So, you can
Transformers, man, because they just stock up shelves over here. Like there's not too many collectors, and it's just kind of over. Like they're all over the shows, but there's so much of them, and I'm like, man, these are really cool.
Surprisingly enough, like Transformers is like one of the first things to get bought up out here.
Really?
Like especially the 86 series. Oh my god, I've fallen in love with that series. So I'm like, I literally have tried to go down to like 3-4 targets to track down like 186 figure, and it's just like to even get like RC or something like that from like I forgot what line it was, but to get that figure was like even like kind of like hard and sell. So
it's wild how just like different brands are associated with different parts of the region. Like honestly, like there's different collectors for each one's like
Yeah.
like over here in Texas we're abundant with NECA figures whenever it comes to like gargoyles. Those things don't get bought up at all. They're stock shelves as well. Even though it's fucking gargoyles, man. Like
Dude, I'm going to remember that because I mean that's the one line I really want to continue on with is gargoyles. I've only got Goliath because they don't fucking sell them here.
Yeah.
Let
me know, dude. Like I've seen dialogue like hundreds of times. I've seen Bronx a few times as well. Even though I've already had them, like I was so much in FOMO that I like was looking out like with some of my friends. I was like, hey, have you seen them? Have you seen them? Type of thing. With NECA figures, it's all a matter of patience, honestly. With most figures, anyways, it's just a matter of patience. They're eventually going to be oversaturated. It's just a matter of waiting over here. But it's wild, dude. Like you just see them everywhere. It's weird that certain regions have different brands that they just completely nab up every single one of them. But,
yeah, and then you have the UK that doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
Roblox.
You guys like Roblox then?
Probably.
It's awesome.
Hello.
So Marty, what I want to ask is like, okay, when it comes to songwriting, like a lot of us, like as far as toy photography, or even people who put together like dioramas, or somebody who's like drawing or like digitally sculpting, whatever the case may be, they listen to music to kind of help them, like kind of, I guess, put together whatever they're trying to put together. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
When it comes to you, as far as like writing music, do you take anything from like comic books or like movies or anything like that help you inspire, like what you're trying to aim for?
No, is the short answer. Everything that I'm doing with the solo stuff is all experience based. It's all based around experience with addiction, depression, mental health, things like that. So every song has a theme based on a period of my life. Who's that handsome lad? Bloody hell, sort it out, lads. In the past, cheeky cunt. Oh, can you say that? Oh, sorry, I forgot that you Americans are a bit funny about that word, aren't you?
No,
honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, Marty. I've low key and really been trying to have you say naughty stuff on this podcast, like, because I'm just like, I really want Marty to say this because it's gonna sound so elegant. Like,
he's like, go for it, then do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have written songs in the past because, you know, I was in a thrash metal band and various other bands in the past. And I would draw from Marvel comics, DC comics. You know, written songs about Weapon X before. With this stuff now, no, it's all experience based.
That's awesome. I mean, whenever I listen to it, it does seem very personal, but I mean, it's relatable, honestly, because it's music and you can just kind of put your own feelings into it. But yeah, it does sound very personal, though. Like
exactly. Like, well, that's the thing. You don't want to be. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to, tell everyone everything. I might at the end of the day, but I want it to kind of be, whether it happens or not, or whether that's translated or not, something as more of like a warning away from that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And in terms of the addictive side of things and drugs, etc. More of a warning, and in that respect, there's nothing glamorous about it. It can really mess you up. And then in regards to like the depression and the mental health issues, more of kind of like a warmth thing. Like you're not alone. I'm going through it. We're all going through it. You know what I mean?
That's what's amazing about music. It can bring a whole room together. Honestly,
exactly.
And there's different ones in different genres. And I know you kind of have your specific genre, but like I've been more into hardcore as of recently, like hardcore metal bands, and the camaraderie. I fucking can't say that word right now. Camaraderie. Okay, but the brotherhood basically that's going on in the pit. It's awesome. I can't say it, man. Just get that word stuck in your
camaraderie. Yeah. I can't say it. You're absolutely right. I still listen to a lot of. See, I told you he's in Costa.
Man, had to find a good spot to get back on. I got off work, so I just hopped over to a hotel to, link up with y'all right quick.
Johnny's a real one. I appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, man. I moved my whole weekend around. I was going to binge some movies, but Y'all go ahead and go on with what y'all was doing here. I'm just gonna, settle in.
Yeah, so with rock and metal, I mean, obviously I listen to music a lot heavier than what I make. A lot heavier, but I listen to everything, a lot of Beautiful Little Sun. I listen to everything. I don't really think that I draw a lot of inspiration from the music I'm listening to now, but inspiration can come from anywhere, can't it?
Yeah,
Facts.
You can kind of draw like from different sources of inspiration to make the music that you want or the artwork that you want. And
exactly, yeah.
That's what's awesome. It's like you don't have to stick to your taste. As long as you're expressing yourself, you're good.
With rock, is it kind of like hip hop where y'all will take things and sample them to like kind of mix things up?
No, I think that's the other interesting thing about music is like the culture that surrounds each genre is very different, right? So with hip hop, and I'm sure there are other genres, maybe like dance and things that that have that kind of thing to it. You know what I mean? Like you'll take kind of like a looping beat from another song and turn it into something of your own. You don't really do that in rock. It has to be 100%, and it's a weird thing. It has to be 100% original. If you even remotely sound like someone else in a copy way, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
It's good to have a sound that's classic or like something genre specific. But if you sound like you're ripping something off, you're done.
I've heard people
inspiration, not straight biting.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. But that's not what I think sampling is, because they'd obviously have to 90% of the time get the okay. What was it? At the time, Puff Daddy. I always sound like a fool saying that. He did the Godzilla theme tune, but he actually sampled Kashmir. But he had Jimmy Page actually play it, so it's not like they're committing plagiarism, not like Ed Sheeran.
Not a hot take.
No.
Or like Lil Jon whenever he samples "Crazy Train" from Ozzy.
Yeah, but I think that's again, that was all above board, I'm sure, because Ozzy's mad on that kind of thing. He's okay with it, you know what I mean? I'd be okay with it. Yeah, make me famous, make it more famous. That's fine,
So like another question I have, Marty, like when you have like toy photographers who listen to your music and they come out with art like this, like what's like the first thing that kind of comes to your head?
Man, I mean, this is Casey as well, who I would consider a very close friend, and I'm wowed by the stuff he's doing.
ACBA artist.
Yeah, this is it, and I think it's one of those things. I've known Casey for a good few years now, and I've watched him just become this, juggernaut on the scene. You know what I mean? So I think the day that he messaged me, he inboxed me, he said, "Oh, I was listening and did this." I was like, "Holy shit, man! That's an incredible honor for me." You know what I mean? For anyone to have any kind of inspiration from what I'm doing is a huge honor. You know what I mean? Especially when you're 2 singles in, it's a beautiful thing. And Simon as well. He did a recreation of.
I remember that.
No, I'm not sure about the choice of head sculpt.
Yeah, I commented.
Don't all look alike, Simon, but
what did he use? Did he use the Chris Pratt head or something?
He did. Yeah, he did. I am a Pratt, but I don't look like Chris Pratt. It's crazy. I think it's like anything, though. I mean, if you took a shot, if you did some toy photography and someone was inspired to do something as a result of that, it's going to make you feel pretty good,
For sure.
No doubt.
I keep telling Marty, like, we need to really protest and get him to make songs for like Still Ball Run, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
That would be amazing. And just so they're aware, I will do it for free.
I
was saying,
as a complete casual to JoJo, with that intro with Jonas, that outro with Jodeci, Every time I close my eyes, like that shit. When I heard it the first time, I was like, "The fuck is going on?" Like I didn't get the connection, but then it like hit when I saw it. But yeah, man.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere, didn't it? But you
Yeah.
know what? For part 5, it worked. It really, really worked. It even worked. I know who that is.
I'd have to actually watch enough of it to make the connection because it would be something I would watch like on Adult Swim at like 3:00 in the morning when I'm just like shooting shots, and I'd be kind of watching it, but I wasn't following the whole story. So
yeah, it's one of those things you really have to pay attention to, and I think with JoJo, you have to kind of start from square one, unless you start from part 7 and work either forwards or backwards. But it is one of those things. But you either love it or you hate it. It is one of those. You either love it or you hate it.
I'm kind of like mid on it, but to be fair, I only watched the first season of JoJo, and I was like, "This is fucking nuts, man! Like, this is already crazy."
the first 2 seasons, which they squeezed into one, which was Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency, they really rushed through that. So it doesn't come across well, especially if you're watching the dub. It's not great. But part 3 from Stardust Crusaders, they just start following it to the letter. It's really good.
Okay.
That's a good picture. Who done that?
I don't know. Some handsome man that I'm talking to in the camera right now.
You don't have to talk about Johnny that way. Yeah.
Oh, you. I
think that's
I'm
the
actually
last.
looking up your profile, Commander Kit Bash, just to see what you're doing here.
Oh, I haven't posted
I'm
much on
familiar.
this in a while, but
Let's see. Let's see, lots of custom work here.
yeah.
You know what, Marty? I'm not really a horror buff, but you make horror figures actually look like, man, like I actually want to go out and go get some. And
I want
I
to say
don't.
there's 2 like shots that Marty has done with this Chucky figure that are just phenomenal, man. It's this one, and there's another one where he's like peering out, and he has like these little wooden blocks.
remember this one.
The one with the letters.
Oh, creeping into the baby room.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing, man. That's like probably like one of the top tier ACBA picks that I've seen. Just
I'm really proud of those 2 shots. Yeah. The thing is, I haven't given up on toy photography. I will get back into it, but it's just really hard. That's the one there. I'm pointing to it, like you can see.
that one, that motherfucker right there. That's
This shit right here.
That took me.
Iconic Marty shot.
Yeah, it's so strange. Like those really intricate looking shots are the ones I took in about 15 minutes.
Really?
Done it in 15 minutes, yeah. And then the ones that are crap took me forever. So it's always the way. It's always the way. You get, you get the idea in your head and the inspiration, and it just comes together like this one. This is probably I think this Stan Lee shot is one of my favorite shots that I've done. I like environment stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just looks very natural. It doesn't look like it doesn't look posed. It just looks like, hey man, this is how it's supposed to be. It just looks like
this is it.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to learn how to do this sort of thing too. Like me a year or so back, always action shots, army builders versus one hero. But it's really about like capturing those character moments like this, where it's just a character in their natural element, kind of a slice of life type of thing.
I think it's easy to get, because I got stuck in this as well, so it's like you either start off getting stuck doing action shots or you get stuck doing this stuff, which I did. So I try and branch out and do a bit of everything, but
it's just
do
the
what you
action
like.
shots are just so much, man. It's like you have to make sure that everything is just stacked up on top of each other correctly, like, because otherwise it's all topple over. It's not.
That's it.
Stressful.
Much harder than it seems, or at least for me.
Yeah.
All about the close-up.
That Evil Dead one, man. That one too, man. That's awesome.
I just seen this one like the other night, and I'm like, yo, where did this one come from? Like,
yeah.
That was. I had to jump on that because I knew someone else was going to do it if I didn't.
Speaking of which, Marty,
Bro,
are you getting that Ash, the anniversary one?
Absolutely.
The NECA one?
Absolutely. Yeah. When's that out?
It's been already out over here, but I'm not sure when you guys.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it like that, but I mean that's the only way.
Yeah, it's not out here yet.
Okay.
Not out here yet.
Yo, this picture right here, though, man.
Yeah, I did that. I want to say that was one of the first kind of protest pictures that was done at that point. And I've seen it quite a few pop up since.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't own the copyright to protest, obviously. But I got a lot of praise and a lot of shit for this picture at the same time. But I live to upset people who supported Trump. So if any of you are watching, you can go fuck yourselves too.
Yeah. Yo, it's crazy how that's the one thing I never gotten, like, especially in the toy community, like people who like aren't involved or read X-Men heavy, and it's just like, I don't like politics in my comics. I'm just like
it's like the people that use the term SJW. Yeah, but you need to stop reading comics if you use that unironically, please. You fucking
imagine
moron.
believing in characters that are supposed to represent justice and equality and all these things, but you don't want any sort of politics in your stories. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Just put down V for Vendetta, man. Can we keep politics away from comic books, please? You know, it is funny.
Motherfuckers who like have like Dark Knight Returns and just like Captain America stuff. And everything has politics in it. You know what I mean? Everything does. Yeah, I got a lot of shit for this one too.
Let me see.
Oh wow.
This is when he got elected.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's a timing issue. Okay, gotcha. that's like.
Yeah. Oh, I meant it. That's what I meant it as. Well, if that scumbag can get elected in, then why not Cobra Commander? We'd probably be better off with him.
Probably.
With Cobra Commander, like, straight up. Like, I would rather have him like lead the country.
He'd at least be a little bit less racist.
Cobra doesn't discriminate, huh?
Exactly. The hood ain't white, it's blue.
Yo, tell me why I posted that photo in PNP of me having army built all the Ninjetti Rangers, like the white ones. Yeah. I think it was Poncho. He came in. He was like, "Oh, the Cool Kids Club is getting together," or something like that. It's like, oh, come on, man. But low key, I didn't think about it until I had them all over there, and I was like, "Yo, high key, this dude like it could be a clan."
Trust him to have pointed that out as well.
You should do a follow-up pic where it's like just all of them together, and they're just talking to each other. And it's like, I can't see it, this fucking thing.
Yeah.
If we had a good black cowboy figure,
yeah,
like with a Sam Jackson likeness, maybe when we get like the Far From Home Legends or something, could be possible.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Be kind of cool. I forgot you met.
The engine turn.
You met RoboCop.
I did. That was a good day.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
I did not say that to him.
Pick with me.
Yeah.
Did you rip into him for his ascot or his neckerchief?
No, but I had a good friend with me at the time, Nick Whitmore, who was a designer for Lego. He said to him, "Oh, I like your neckerchief," and he did not take that well.
What's disrespectful about that?
I don't know. I don't wear neckerchiefs, so I couldn't tell you. So I'm white. I'm not that bad, but in case no one noticed, yeah, I don't know. He didn't like that. I think he was like, it's. I think he actually did correct him. I think he said, "Well, it's actually an ascot."
That sounds worse, honestly.
Yeah. I think there's only two reasons you should ever be wearing something like that. One, if you have a hole in your throat that you need to hide, and two, if you're cold. Which we were indoors at Comic-Con. You're not cold.
Or if you're a cowboy.
Yes. Or if you're a cowboy.
If you're at a con, I heard you're probably sweaty, a little musty. You know, like.
Oh, definitely. I was definitely sweaty and musty when we took that picture.
I don't know if it's an older person thing, but like I feel like whenever celebrities start getting older, they start wearing the little ascot thing.
It's
Just to
like
hide
the little
yeah,
the
your neck
little,
starts sagging. You try to.
the giblets.
the
Yeah.
giblets.
I'll just let my beard grow longer.
There you go.
That's
That's the move.
that's it.
See, I'm enjoying my youth right now, where I don't have to have a beard to fill in. I'm in my 20s, so it's not necessary yet. When I get older, I'll probably
Rub it in.
because you look younger without it. So
There you go.
I forgot what it's like to be 20, Johnny.
that long.
It feels like it.
There we go. I'm just sharing the link that we're going live right now. A couple of places, right quick.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah. Sharing it to my story now.
That Vegeta, man.
So Marty, you already know we gotta have like our whole segment of this and the manga. So let's already just go ahead and jump into it. How do you feel about this figure? Like, and why will it be like top number 2 figure of the year? Like,
Man, anything Dragon Ball is. I'm one of the few people that liked GT. I liked it, and I think I appreciate it more now than I even did when it was airing. You know, I think it was more following the roots of Dragon Ball. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, and it was absolute shit in some places. But let's be honest, and this is coming from a real lifelong fan. Okay. Dragon Ball Z, have you watched it recently? I mean,
Yeah.
there's some really, and there's a lot of shit moments in it, and that's what I love about Super. You get a lot of elitist people that are like, oh, it's new and popular. It couldn't possibly. Yes, it's better. It's better than Z. Stop it. Put your fucking childhood in the bin. Piss off. Shut up. It's better. All right. People are fighting the episode they say they're going to fight in. Yeah. That's an improvement. You know what I mean? It's neither here nor there. I can't wait for that. I think that looks fantastic. I still need to pick up SSJ4 Goku. Look at that, man. It looks strong, doesn't it? It just looks strong. It looks like you could actually kick that figure and it might hurt you back.
Yeah. It's the sculpt. It's got like real beefy proportions to him.
That's
it. That shot of them together, that final shot, the one that's there. That one looks freaking sick.
One? This is money right here.
I would pleasure myself to that photo. I might.
Like I honestly, as soon as like Cam puts this on Toy Trash the site, I'm already like, Cam, like, let's do it. Like,
that's it.
Not on some hater shit, Nick. But why do you get from Cam when he's like in the UK? And you all the way here from like the US.
All right, so my logic on that one is like, okay, it's Dragon Ball, it's automatically going to get bought up, and the moment that it's like starts to resell, like the markup on it is just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, so my whole thing was, it's just like, okay, if I order from Cam, chances are I'll probably pay 10 more than what this figure costs. But if you really think about it, if you buy that same figure from like Big Bad, it's gonna come out to the same amount that I paid for it from Cam, and Cam offered like free shipping. So it's just like, I'm just like, yo, by that point in time, like, 1, this is already a trusted person. 2, he has something that I need, and 3, like, I don't have to pay that much to get something that is gonna get bought up. Like, everybody kept saying like, oh, Super Saiyan 4 is gonna be a general release, but the thing about that is just like you only see that figure like at a Barnes and Noble's like once every blue moon and shit like that.
Yep, and the thing with Cam is even if you can't get it at that point, he'll hold on to it. You know what I mean? And the thing with Dragon Ball, if you don't get those figures when they come out, there's been 1 or 2 releases that I didn't pick up on release, and I regret that now. You know what I mean? It's stupid money, absolute stupid money. So yeah, better off if you can't find it, then you may as well just pay the additional shipping because you're going to pay triple that if you wait.
And honestly,
I think I only have a few holes in my Dragon Ball collection, but it's mostly the TN with like the little, I believe it's from the Perfect Soul arc where he had like the green shirt going halfway across his chest. I always get the bad guys no matter what. I had to go and look at what I got, but I know I'm missing a few holes. And like you said, yeah, that secondary market's always a bitch to try to come back for.
Especially if it's anything from Super. Oof.
Super, yeah, hits like what 150 to like 2.
He's one of the ones I missed. Absolutely.
Did you pass on him because like the plastic skirt piece just didn't seem?
I passed on him because I really didn't give a shit about owning him. That's I can't really, you know what I mean, and I still don't really mind too much. Yeah, it was him, and I can't remember. It was one other. I can't remember which one it was, but I think I've got all the other Super figures that have been released. I don't want to have to keep buying, a million different Gokus, and I'll still buy a million different Vegetas, but Goku I've got enough of for the moment. Super Saiyan 3, I didn't get that. Boy.
The Goku, I got it.
Yeah.
I had the first one, sold it because I felt like they were going to re-release it, and they wound up doing that, so I got lucky on that. But I really wanted the fucking Halo. I think he's the only one with one, right?
Him and Frieza.
Frieza, yeah.
Yeah, Frieza. Okay.
Yeah.
I need that new Frieza too because I sold my OG a while back, which I wish I hadn't done.
Oh man, that Frieza re-release with the more kind of accurate head sculpt's so nice, man.
It is
so nice.
The only thing is it's kind of boxed up. Like for me, it's sitting in kind of my storage area. But I have
you got him though.
I have that and the Goku, the one that you see in Targets like everywhere. Like it's
the Super Saiyan.
No, just the normal one, the one where he's just,
base.
Saiyan Raised on Earth release, is it? Yeah. Which is crazy.
Go on, Marty.
Oh no, I was just going to say it's mad how that works because the original kind of base form Goku was just so hard to find for me anyway. When that first wave of figures was coming out, and now this new one is just everywhere.
Yeah.
I find that strange. Yeah.
Snapshot said, if you miss it when it comes out, you may as well bite the pillow if you think you're going to find it down the line. Honestly, no, that's really how it works.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
That's my approach. If I don't have the money for something at the moment, I'm just like, all right, fuck, I guess I'm going to pay, 100, double retail eventually, and I'll just buy less of other things and just get what I actually feel I really need at the time.
Yeah.
It's just part of the game.
That's another thing too, Johnny. Like Cam, like he'll have like flash sales of like certain figures, and like for example, I think Hit is like what is he, like a web exclusive? He goes for like 100 plus out here, and like Cam was like selling that one for like 80, like retail. So that's like another reason why I'm just like, more than likely, like some of the Dragon Ball figures, if I miss them out here, I'll just go to Cam for sure because I know he'll have them.
I'll have to start paying attention and fucking with Cam then. I've been struggling out here, just waiting, paying the secondary, and just dealing with it as is.
Listen, just hit him up, man. Hit him up.
For sure. What's that? Oh, yes.
Krillin's okay, but I'm not gonna lie. This Gohan, I'm not impressed with it. Like, I really don't like it at all. Like, compared to the Gohan that came out with, I'm like, his face. This one is just like, you just come here, baby, give me a kiss. Like, kind of scrunch it up. I'm like, why did they do that? I'm like, the first face or the head sculpt on the re-release or the new one was just like so perfect.
I don't care about that Gohan. I found him annoying back then, and I just don't give a shit about him now. Adult Gohan was where it was at for me. I even didn't give a shit about Teen Gohan. So
I mean, seeing this Gohan, all I can think of is like the English dub, "Daddy," like the whole time, just crying and like scared. I don't know. This Gohan, he kind of like, I guess, let it up and just like stepped in there and did some things, but not peak Gohan for me at all.
It's kind of lame is that I watched Dragon Ball in order. Like originally, like I watched Kid Goku before I watched anything else.
Yeah.
And so watching Kid Goku and then seeing how Gohan acts, and he looks exactly like him, and he sounds exactly like him, but he's just a completely different person.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh wow, like this is kind of shit. But Krillin is always cool.
You know, honestly, I really was thinking about passing this figure, but they had already stated that they're coming out with a second form Frieza, and for like this little piece alone right here, I was just like, damn, I might have to actually get this Krillin.
Yeah.
For me, again, I've got Krillin. I don't need multiple different versions of him. For me, I think my collecting on Dragon Ball is I still love it, but after they release Bardock, I'm like, okay, I feel like I can miss a few now because Bardock for me was a number one want. I mean, when the internet was shit and we were downloading clips of Bardock, the father of Goku, and you had all them FMV, did they call them AMVs or FMV back in the day, where there would just be some random music to clips of Dragon Ball?
AMV, I think, yeah.
That's it, yeah. I mean, man, we
background. Well,
yeah, we grew up on that shit, and then History of Trunks and all that. So it was once they released him, I was kind of like, okay,
that's sick.
Yeah, Bardock snapshot reviews. Yeah, Bardock was a wicked figure. I just wish they didn't have the fucking earpiece. They should have just made two separate faces with two sculpted ears. It was just a weird choice. That's cool. 5K Toys. But it's Kong Studio or something that does it, doesn't it?
It's Kong Studio and
Demoniacal Fit.
Yeah, Demoniacal. Yeah.
I just love the fact that there's companies out there that just make all the accessories and stuff that the actual companies just end up missing, or they just don't include for whatever reason. I think it's pretty fucking awesome that there's never been a Majin Saiyan or Super Saiyan 3 version.
I know.
It's cool as shit.
It's like that shit we used to have in like the 2000s where you would just Google random Super Saiyan forms and shit. Saiyan 100 there would be like just all the way out here, just like
Super Saiyan 100 Goku. Like,
it was for me. It was late 90s, early 2000s when we thought Dragon Ball AG or Epsilon or whatever the fuck it was at the time. It was like, have you seen Super Saiyan level 5? Oh my god!
Yeah,
and it was just hair everywhere. It was crazy. Swore blind it was real. It has to be real. It was on the internet.
Bro, down here in Houston, you could go to like any like Hispanic restaurant and there would be like I guess posters or Dragon Ball memorabilia. You see that crazy like fan art shit on the walls, or like a little statue of like Super Saiyan 8 Vegeta with like hair just blown out crazy. It was wild.
The fandom is crazy over here, bro. In the States, the fucking fandom in Mexico is nuts, dude. Like
didn't they air one of the episodes, the final episode of the Tournament of Power arc in Mexico City?
I think so.
They did. They done it in a few, but I know Mexico was one of the big ones.
I know Mexico, they had their own exclusive Goku that was or still is super expensive to find. So
that's right. Yeah. I remember that. It was more reddish. The gi was more reddish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like
if I remember correctly, yeah.
Purple sash like across, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, that punching head sculpt.
They just have Vegeta getting washed like
Nick, Max, like
the disrespect.
I'll take it though. I want more ass beating accessories for Dragon Ball characters. Like
that's what makes shooting Dragon Ball quite hard. I think is one dioramas. I think for a lot of us that were doing kind of the toy photography, dioramas you can get for all different things. Like street level or whatever, forests. Dragon Ball has to be so specific or it doesn't work.
It has to look.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes it difficult because you've got to have stuff really made for it. And there are guys. Yeah, Star Wars is like that. Star Wars is like that. Pain in the ass to shoot. The amount of money I've invested in actual Star Wars dioramas, my God.
I've invested a lot and I still haven't invested enough.
It's like whenever I see Be Amazing like show off a figure and he's doing a review, but the background doesn't match up with the figure, and you're like, that doesn't look like a Star Wars background, man. But it still looks cool because The Amazing has some really cool
that'll
dare
only
you
be
throw shade at the king.
That's only when he's doing a review, though, because I'm pretty sure D has like even a diorama of his own house, doesn't he? He has like a diorama for every occasion. I've never seen anyone with more dioramas than that man.
It's loaded.
He did a
insane.
live stream like this week, and like, you know how like behind me I got this here. He had like his shelves or whatever. You could just see piles of
Piles, yeah.
dioramas just going up.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's it. Fantastic.
Part of it has to do with it too. Is like even if you have something, you might not want to dig around for an hour just to find one specific accessory or one diorama set.
Exactly.
Smash Slab Creations says so happy to have. I missed it.
I'll show it again.
Hakusho Squad.
The Yu Yu Hakusho. I think Nick just had it on screen there.
Okay. Yeah, I know nothing about that, but they look cool.
You haven't seen? Oh man.
Some things I just forget or just never get to backtracking for, unfortunately.
Wait, what? You never? Like you've never seen it at all? Like
no.
Nick, I'm trying not to be that guy, but yeah.
Go ahead and be that guy.
It's Yu Yu Hakusho, man. It's like I don't know.
I know.
I feel like the first arc alone is just like enough for just you to be like, oh, this is a really good anime, man. This is good.
I'll add that to a list of 100 other things that I haven't seen that I should see.
Yeah.
no, honestly, like I seen in a meme one day. Somebody was just like, "Yu Yu Hakusho is about like 4 hood dudes saving the world," and I'm like, "No, that is accurate as shit.
That's what I fucking love about it, man.
That is
They're
accurate as
they're
shit."
literally all idiots, but they're just like they're still getting by. I don't know how that like basically got axed. Like they just stopped making Yu Yu Hakusho, and then he just went on to do Hunter x Hunter, and he's like 132 seasons of that shit. It's like
The curse of anime, man. You don't know. That's the problem with investing into anything. It's just it might not get any more. That's the problem.
You know what did get more but shouldn't have? The Forgotten Neverland. I actually watched that, and the whole second season was ass, and I was mad, salty about it.
Oh, you gotta read the manga, bro. Because the from what I understand, I've never seen season 2, but I hear the anime kind of glosses over like important shit. Like
Okay, that makes sense.
I heard the controversy about that. I've never read or watched it. Forgotten Neverland.
Like there's what do they call it? The Goldie Pond arc, and it explains like why.
Sorry, what? The Goldie what?
Goldie Pond
Goldie
arc
Pond.
or something like that. Mm-hmm.
Golden Pond.
I thought you were talking about One Piece for a second. I was like, what are you talking about?
But it explains, I guess, like how that world came to be and stuff like that. And a lot of people were just saying like once they started watching like season 2, they were just like, "Yo, what the hell is going on?" Like it just feels like so much of the story is just gone. Like
Yeah, really did. Yeah, I was one of those butthurt fans. Well, fans, since I didn't read the manga, obviously.
Who's getting the turtle van?
I want it, and actually, Nick kind of sort of is responsible for me buying animated TMNT shit. So I feel like I need it now, but
don't you put that on me? I didn't do nothing. I did no such thing, sir.
You know what? You didn't do that. Somebody hooked me up with the Turtle 4-pack that recently dropped. I believe it's like in some sort of kind of weird colorway that came with the NECA Summer of Celebration, whatever they were doing at Target.
Yeah.
Someone sold me those loose at a good price. And I have been avoiding the line because in the ACBA, you don't hardly see nobody but like Stephen Court Smith actually shoot the animated turtles. Everybody else kind of avoids it for whatever reason. So I thought they were like kind of ass or something. But when I got them in hand, this was smooth. I sold my SHF turtles, and now I saw your review of the whoever the hell this 4-armed bug guy is.
Are you talking about Anthrax?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. If it's not obvious, no, I haven't watched the animated show. I just like good figures and try to create stuff.
Whenever you posted your video on that, bro, I was like, fuck, I don't want to get this, bro. Like, this is, I don't want to spend more money on these turtles. Like, I said I was going to cut off after a certain point, but then I saw those and I was like, fuck.
No, I'm actually surprised. Like they like film like very good, and I'm like with those like how Marty like addressed it earlier. Like you could tell that NECA at least they're trying. Like as far as like the first stage of turtle figures were just like kind of like And then like further down the road, like you see like new tooling and stuff like that. It's just like, all right, you guys are like
Those
going
first
into
animated turtles
They've-
were trash, man.
They've done really well, but I think people like Stephen Court Smith, who is a very underrated toy photographer. To be fair, now his use of color is really cool. But I think NECA need to start picking it up a little because we've had, multiple releases and re-releases of these same molds, and I still can't get these motherfuckers to do a karate kick.
Yeah.
It's and I think
you can't do a high kick with the turtle at all with these things. It's like
and if you do get his leg up, it looks like he's about to take a shit. It's not there's your Ninja Turtles can't be ninjas, and all of the great toy photography pictures of these are them just chilling or doing something environmental or ambient. You know what I mean? There's no real good action shots. There might be one or two, but they're difficult to pull off when. I mean, it's all there.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Marty, and I'm gonna shoot some real cool action shots with these fucking.
Do it. Do it, man.
I'm gonna go and try.
I think what the goal should be to kind of start doing what Reveltech did, because they're still hands down the best. I mean, depending on what you're looking for, but for me, getting them to actually do shit, the Reveltech figures are hard to beat, man. And I think any company that's got the license should be aiming to kind of develop some more articulation into those figures.
Like,
let me say, hold on, I got something.
Yeah.
Like the Reveltech ones were so ahead of their time. Like I love how it has like the Revel joints that they use. But if you pay close attention, like you can really adjust the height of the turtles to how they're supposed to look on the show.
Oh man, there was a lot of stuff you could do. They're not bad at all, Johnny. Yeah.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. He's definitely limited. You gotta like mess with angles and.
That's it. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's very limited what you can get them to do, and then you have these blasphemous figure arts ones. There you go. Some camera trickery, and it can look wicked.
Yeah, real up close, or something.
Marty, you don't like the SHF ones?
No, that's because I have taste.
Damn, bro! Like I mean, those are the only ones I have. There's shit on me, I guess. Like,
no, they look fantastic. Don't get me wrong; they look fantastic, and I have the set, and I had them on release. Now the problem is,
you say you don't like SHF ones, bro? What the hell?
No. Why would I? Why would I? They're shit. They look amazing, but the problem is they've got these. Sorry, I'm just scratching my back. Oh, they're all die cast, and the joints don't last. They don't last. You play with them for a week and tell me how you feel about them afterwards, because I know they're just sitting on your fucking shelves. All right.
Are you saying they get loose over time or something?
Man, I've got the only one that survived for me is Raphael. He's the only one that survived. The rest of them are paint chipped. The joints are weak because they're die cast, and they're die cast all the way up, even on the sockets. So they start getting loose, and once they get loose, you're in trouble. But, because it's die cast, the super glue trick that you can use, where you have a little bit to tighten it up, it will work for about 24 hours, and then it doesn't.
So that means that it's a good thing we never got that shredder that they teased, because he was just probably like 8 inches tall. Y'all remember that, right? The shredder that they teased.
Yeah. I think figure arts, if they didn't have die cast in them, they would be hands down the best versions of them. Period. But
I agree with you on that one, Marty, because it's just like I started to notice, like the last time I broke mines out the box, like you could tell a few of them were like getting loose, and I'm like, yo, why are these getting loose? I don't really do nothing with them. Like
that's it. Now imagine if you're posing them up for a couple, like imagine you're Stephen Court Smith and you're using them for some action shots daily. Imagine that. And then you've got to. And then imagine they're all loose and you've got to replace them. I was annoyed because they are fantastic looking. I mean, they're hands down the best in terms of aesthetic, but for functionality, they're just dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
Well, I feel less bad about selling them now.
I mean, to be honest with you, like I was thinking, I still am going to get the van, but I've seen so many reviews and so many people post up videos of it. It's huge. So I'm like, if I were to get this, where would I put it at? Like,
yeah, well, also I don't like the price point. That's
No, that's another thing too. It's like twice as much for you guys over there, isn't it?
I'm not too sure. If Cam's still watching, he'd probably be able to tell us what that's looking at over here. But it's probably quite extortionate. I think, like what Snapshot Reviews just said, I personally can't justify 500 quid for it. Now, I don't believe in, if you want to pay that price for it, then fine, it's worth it. It's worth that price, right? For me, I wouldn't do anything with it, especially now. You know what I mean? It would literally, I'd be like, oh, this is fucking great, and then it would sit on a shelf forever. You know what I mean? 500 quid for maybe one shot when I've got some downtime. No, what I can do is I can get the party van from the CGI movie and get that customed for half the cost, and it would be just as good.
Honestly,
500 quid, Marty. What's that in real money, like American dollars?
It's like $500.
I did say real money, pounds, great British pounds, my friend.
It's like
which one's stronger?
Not that Monopoly money, Martin. That's what he was basically saying. It's like with real money.
Johnny with his no patriotism here, my friend.
No, that's what I got. Honestly, like I've never thought like the Turtles would actually have this superhero van of to ride around, and they're ninjas too. And I'm like, you're gonna be like incognito in this super van like type of thing that just is shooting out pizzas at people. It's like, nah, man, like,
hey,
yeah,
that's why I have the CGI turtle one, and I'm like, I don't know if I really can justify the $500 price tag on the turtle one. That's wild. I'd rather just buy that CGI one and I'm good.
This is it, and I think especially for you, Fidel, where you're great at customizing stuff. It's not going to cost you anything except for some time to do that. You know what I mean? For me, no credits, only money. For me, it's the comments are distracting me big time. For me, I think it's worth it for. I mean, I would consider myself a big TMNT fan, but I even as a kid, I've never been into like giant vehicles and things like that. It's always just been the little action figures that I've always been drawn to. So apart from the occasional Batmobile,
unless vehicles turn into robot monsters, then you
right? But they're not 500 quid and this big, right? And even then, once I get those Transformers out of the box, they never go back into car mode. Forget that. Pardon?
My own heart.
too much work.
No, I just I think it's I don't want them. Sod the car. Yeah, it's cool that they can transform. I think that's great, but I honestly, I'm not one of those people that needs my Transformers to transform. It's the bot mode I like. But I think it's well worth it if you're a big TMNT fan and you've got everything in the line and whatever. Like Stephen Court Smith would benefit from that hugely because he's shooting them all the time, isn't he? So he'd get his money's worth out of it. I would not.
Yeah,
Mech Turtles are dope though.
Yeah. Who's making those?
Some third-party company. Let me go to it right quick. Heat Boys, a company called Heat Boys. But they have the official license with Nickelodeon, so like these are, and they just now released these pictures yesterday. Like these are the final images that they're gonna run.
I did. Yeah, I seen something about them. I thought, why?
The Donatello mainly looks like that's the coolest one, but I think it's because he looks like that dude from Appleseed to me. Honestly, he just looks fucking dope.
I see that.
Briareos? Is it Briareos?
I think so.
And he has the little turtle drone and the gat. Like, that's all. I was just like, at first I was gonna get like, okay, I want Mikey, but then I seen like these two accessories. I'm like, nah, I think Donnie for sure is coming home. But I like it. I didn't see this at first, but I like how I guess that they're gonna include like actual turtles to like seat them in like mecha bases.
I didn't realize that. I didn't notice that. So they're actually meant to be like full on giant mechs. Didn't realize.
This is the Neon Genesis Evangelion crossover.
TMNT Gundam.
Yeah.
Get in the goddamn bot, Leo.
I don't know why Mikey comes with dreadlocks though.
I was just wondering that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a cool design choice. It may not really accurate, but it's cool.
No,
Yeah.
and it's weird because this wasn't like, as far as Mikey goes, this wasn't the original design they were going with. Like the earphones, yes, but like the dreads, that came out of left field. Like I was just like,
interesting design choice though. It'd be cool to see that on screen.
Yeah.
How it would be realized, like how would that work on a turtle?
like this was the original one. Like notice how this one doesn't have dreads at all.
No, it doesn't.
And then like as far as like Raphael, I think they bulked him up because this is how he is now versus I guess this is what he was going to look like originally.
Mm-hmm.
I dread to imagine what those are going to cost.
How big are they?
Let me go to it right quick because I think all the information is mainly on
The busiest
Twitter.
one looks like Leo. I feel like, or no, I think it's maybe Mikey. He just looks way too busy. Like I don't know, the design just looks overbearing a little bit. Leo's all right, but I'm like, why you got a shield, man?
like I think Bandai, they come out with what is it, the metal build Gundams. So whatever size those are, I'm assuming these turtles are probably going to be the same size. I've never held one of those figures, but I think they're like I don't want to say perfect grades, but they're like the same size as master grades, I think. So anywhere from like 9 to 11 inches, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Are they model kits or are they pre-built?
I believe these are pre-built. Like at first they were advertised like as model kits, but then like they started like coming out more. It's just like, okay, I think these are like the metal builds, and from what I understand, like the metal builds are like actual model kits, but with like die-cast parts that are already built. So I mean, either or, you probably could classify it as a model that's already built technically, but
Aren't we all, Nick?
wait, what happened?
Oh no, I'm looking at something here. Sorry.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. There's only so many more new rabbit holes I can afford to jump into. There's always some cool shit that drops, and I gotta decide what else I'm gonna kick off my roster to try and start collecting next.
And then next is about to drop Mirage, and I feel like also Archie Comics TMNT. So I'm like, that's a lot of turtles, man. That's a hell of a whole lot of turtles.
Yeah. Although, I mean, depending on how they go about the Mirage ones, I might have to pick those up.
Yeah.
If they're better than the first releases, then
They gotta be.
They said that this was more layered inspired, like how they kind of jumped back and forth between the designs.
Yeah.
So they're going to be more of the bulky kind of layered designs, which sounds kind of cool to me.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be happy to stop getting 80s turtle cartoon stuff because while it's fun, Mirage Comics definitely was a good choice for me.
Now you're talking. This is what I'm eagerly awaiting. Now they've announced that they're doing two lines, right? They're doing the 1/18 scale line and they're going to do the 6-inch line.
6-inch.
Yeah. So they're going to be releasing 6-inch versions of the Dread line. The ones currently advertised are 1/18. So hopefully it's a chance for us to build up. I mean, I'm a huge 2000 AD fan. I mean, in the shelves back there, I've got stacks and stacks. I've still got a subscription to 2000 AD. So it'd be a huge poncho.
It's poncho.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of characters they give us.
All the different judges and mutants.
Well, they've already, exactly. They've already advertised Judge Big, haven't they? And it'd be cool to get Anderson, Hershey, just loads of different characters. But they've advertised a RoboCop line in 6-inch, haven't they?
Can't say I remember that, but if they did, it's probably going to be great.
Pretty sure they did, and a couple of other things. Godzilla, I know they've advertised Godzilla, haven't they?
They've announced a few, but they haven't actually come up with any 6-inch figures.
Not yet. Yeah. No.
But
Be cool to see.
I'd be highly interested because I do see some of these designs of these judges, and I'm like, holy shit, these actually look pretty fucking cool. I never jumped on the Mezco one just because I was like, they're not gonna release anything else. Which, if I'm gonna get Dread, I want to have some other stuff to go along with it. But
wait, does the bike light up?
It looks like the actual main light does. Yeah, pretty much. It looks identical to the 3A one that they released.
It just looks like translucent plastic to me, and then like the backlight is almost lighting it up.
Light piping, maybe.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, that looks like it's lighting up.
Yeah.
But if they were going to light up that one, why wouldn't they light up the little like bulbs on the sides?
I guess because of the scale, it might affect the price point. I think with higher toys, they tend to make things quite affordable. So a lot of their lines they're not really that expensive, and you get a lot of detail for them, a lot of maneuverability.
What are they like? Figures? Like they're kind of low, aren't they?
Probably cheaper for you, but in America, for over here, they range between 20 just under 30 quid, depending on what you're getting. I have a few of the Alien and Predator stuff that they did. A lot of QC issues, but that was very early stuff.
But honestly, every time that I see something Hiya Toys, like I'll see it on Big Bad, and they'll showcase it, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a new NECA figure that's coming out. It's like, oh no, it's Hiya. Like that's
crazy.
This is it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it looks cool. Oh, so they have actually. I didn't even know they've released any images of Judge Hershey. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool because I've got the 3A Dark Judges and Dread, and then I've got one of each from the Mezco Dreads that they released.
Those figures.
Those
3A figures always wind up being sold mad cheap because nobody has faith in a 6-inch Dread line. I always find them like $60 every now and then when somebody's like, I don't know, selling all their shit, getting rid of my collection. The 3A figures always wind up pretty affordable.
Well, fair enough. I won't be doing that. Yeah, so it'd be interesting. Interesting to fill out the roster if they actually do release the 112 versions.
I think that's the issue too, isn't it? It's most of these lines, they come out with Dread and maybe Death, and then they're like, okay, see ya.
That's it. Yeah.
But they've never come out with anything else. Like, this is fucking cool, man. The shot right here. That's really cool, but you never see that from any other line, you know?
It is. I think the problem is Dread's it is a big, like everyone knows who Judge Dredd is, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? And the film had some success in the home release market.
Which one? Which one?
You know which one. You know which one.
He's like, there's only one. What are you talking about?
Well, actually, that's the Stallone one is a guilty pleasure. They did get certain things right. They got the mega city was perfect. The whole feel of that place was perfect. It's just, Dredd himself was shit. But everyone knows it, and but I still think Judge Dredd, as widely known as it is still quite a niche thing. So selling the figures is
absolutely crazy too.
A hard sell.
It's absolutely crazy how much of a cult following that Dredd 2012 movie was, and how hyped people are about it, and they haven't done anything with it yet. It's nuts. Absolutely.
It's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame.
I mean, if we got The Boys and Invincible bringing really gritty, violent ass, series, somebody could do a well-written Judge Dredd series, and people would fall behind that shit.
Well, there's a city called There's a series called Mega City 1 that's been in production for a while now, but no one seems to really know what's happening with that.
They said that it's not going to be Dredd centered. It's going to be.
That's right, but that works. It can still work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if that was successful, then you could see the introduction of maybe a more Dredd-centric series, or even a second season focusing more on him.
Okay, that I'm like, what's going on with that? I don't know Dredd enough to know who that character is. What's with the gator?
So school us on Dredd, Marty.
Right. Well, how long do you have?
These casuals.
Well, all right. So you've got the thing to remember is in Mega City 1 you've got mutants, right? Not as we know them in Marvel, but you've got deformed, mutant type characters, etc.
Yeah.
And the judges will recruit from many different people. Sorry. I was doing Judge Dredd. He didn't know that either. You've got the PsyOps division, which is where Anderson is, so she would be considered a mutant because of her abilities, etc. There's loads of, you've got Judge Fish, lots of different characters. But the thing is, you've got to remember that Judge Dredd has been going since the 70s till current times. That's a lot. It's like asking me to tell you, all right, so tell us about the X-Men. Do you know what I mean? I could only tell you, well, it's about these guys,
these dudes, man.
Going into the intricacies of it. But I would highly recommend reading something like Judge Dredd America, if you want to jump in. Great story to start with.
Just a Gator boy.
Yeah, it looks great though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
His mouth opens up too, doesn't it? Yeah, it does.
Looks like it.
Like I believe, I think Dante said he bought like a whole bunch just the army build this character.
Sure.
This Gator specifically, I can see it not for like as Judge Dredd character, but maybe as just goons for something else.
Given the design of the suit, it would be a good background character for a Fallout build.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or Bioshock.
Yeah.
The thing about High Toys that I actually like, they mesh well with like Acid Rain figures and even some of the Joy Toys figures as well.
Yeah, I used to have a whole bunch of Acid Rain figures. I've kept one or two. I ended up selling them. Great figures. I didn't get into the Joy Toy stuff. I know Cam and a few other guys, UK side, are big into that stuff at the moment because they're into their mech stuff. Didn't quite grab me though.
So let me ask you guys a question. Do you think 3-inch figures will make a strong comeback?
I think so.
Because, I mean, dude, Black Series alone, I fucking love Star Wars. Black Series alone, like, the 6-inch figures for Black Series have been going down the drain, dude. But, like, the 3-inch figures are absolutely nuts in detail, dude. I got a Boba Fett just because I got the ship, the slave one. Yeah. I got
Fire spray now.
Fire spray, it's apparently still Slave 1, but I don't know. But okay. I got him just to sit in the cockpit. But I'm like, dude, this thing is posable. It comes with like painted detail. Like I didn't even have to touch it at all, and I just put it in there. I was like, dude, I kind of feel guilty because I thought it was just going to be a little statue type of thing. But it's like well built now. These 3-inch
I think. Yeah, I think there's a big place in the collector's market for that scale. For me, I was a big G.I. Joe collector, especially the vintage, growing up. And I still have all of my anniversary and POC, Pursuit of Cobra, Rise of Cobra, all of that stuff in the 1/18 scale. And for me, that's for me personally, the better G.I. Joe stuff, because at that scale, they can give you so much more as well. More characters, vehicles, which is what G.I. Joe was all about as well. So, that's the thing that kind of put me off the Hasbro stuff. Now, the Hasbro stuff is fantastic. I'm not going to fault it or say, but I just prefer the 1/18 scale stuff because that to me is G.I. Joe. Just
are you buying the 1/18 Joe stuff now? Like the new 4-inch.
It's all re-releases of stuff that was already released. So I've got pretty much it. I'm not buying the same thing twice. It's not even some of it's not even repainted. Do you know what I mean? Like the Snake Eyes that they've done was the Pursuit of Cobra Snake Eyes, and that came with multiple heads on the original release. The Commando and the visor head, etc. There was a bunch of stuff that came with. I think the Storm Shadow that they've released was originally the Hall of Heroes or the Hall of Fame Storm Shadow release. I can't remember it correctly because it's such a long time ago. But yeah, like Pancho said, exactly. There's bunch of stuff that they're doing, but they can give you more. You know what I mean? You can get a lot more. I don't think it will take the place of 6-inch, but it definitely deserves its place if you're into, especially, you know, all the vehicles and things like that. I mean, good luck collecting vehicles for
6-inch anything.
Yeah, man, good luck with that. Especially with Star Wars. I mean, that started with that line. You know what I mean? It works for Star Wars. I personally prefer 1/12 scale in general, but for things like G.I. Joe, for me, that fits better in a smaller scale because of what that brand encompasses. Added to cart.
I mean, for me, added to cart. I mean, for me, 6-inch is Star Wars is always going to be my preferred line.
I prefer it. Yeah, I prefer it. If for Star Wars, I prefer it.
The argument right now is that because the face details, there's like more real estate, so they can actually capture more detail. But if I were trying to make that argument, say 5 years ago were like the first Black Series releases, that wouldn't be a very valid argument because the face sculpts were coming out rough. What we're getting now is really good. We're getting a lot of repaints and shit, but when we do get a unique character, the face sculpt is usually money.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, at least I think Black Series, like Fidel said, has its up and downs. Really does. Especially with the characters that they choose to release. For me personally, you know, there's tons of movie stuff. Let's start working through the EU stuff at least. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah,
this guy.
That record's good.
Bad Batch was fantastic. Start giving us some. Like I'm just getting sidetracked with these comments.
No, I was saying that's Cap. That's Cap, Marty. Bad Batch was mid, in my opinion.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I liked it a lot.
It was fun, but I feel like Clone Wars still superior because I guess, of course, we have longer relationships with those characters. But
yeah, but I think the problem is I think especially with collectors and people in our community now, the problem we have, right, and that raises a good point, is that we have to constantly compare stuff to other stuff. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, it's very hard for anything to measure up to something you have more of a connection with rather than just enjoying it for what it is. For me, I watched Bad Batch and just, if I compared it to things that I enjoyed more, like Rebels or Clone Wars, as you said, and of course it's gonna fall short.
But also watch those first 2 seasons of Clone Wars again, and just tell me like if they were actually
those first 2 seasons are rough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but honestly, dude, like Bad Batch had so many good things about it. The cinematography alone in that,
I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Between one of the, I'll just say one of the clones. If you guys haven't seen it, one of the clones versus the other one.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man! It just so good. It's so good.
The thing I appreciate about the later Star Wars cartoons, like Bad Batch and Rebels, is that we've got to remember, right? So Clone Wars had it easy. Yeah. They were working with characters we already had an affinity with. Okay, so like Obi-Wan, Anakin, Yoda. I mean, Dooku. We loved those characters and we loved them, so we were going to naturally want to see more of them. Bad Batch and Rebels took characters we don't give a shit about and have never heard of, and made us interested. Some of us, obviously, it's horses for courses. You're not going to just like it just because I'm saying it, but that's for me personally. I that's what I appreciate about those shows.
What's up, Nico?
What up, Nico?
Hello.
This guy. Yo, shout out to Diego, man. I love that dude. Wise beyond his years, man.
But yeah, you're right about like just us romanticizing and embracing certain things we already have connections to, and then just calling the new thing shit because it's obviously not the exact same thing.
Exactly, I think the problem, and it goes into not just Star Wars, it goes to exactly. Exactly, Pancho. Mob Psycho, fantastic. That's probably one of my favorite animes to date. But it goes into movies as well. I think that's the problem with the MCU as well. Is whereas we're looking at the multiverse of madness, and rather than just accepting it for entertainment, which is what it is. It's a fucking comic book film. It's not The Piano. This isn't released by Miramax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I want deep and interesting and, you know, all these subplots and, you know, beautifully told, I'm not going to fucking watch the MCU. You know what I mean? I'm going to sit down, eat my cheeseburger, have a wank, and enjoy the comic book stuff. Maybe not while I'm watching it, but the cheeseburger, maybe. But you get what I'm saying. So we keep going back, and certain people were like, well, it's not Winter Soldier. That's, yeah, good observation. It wasn't, because it was Doctor Strange.
You could do that with any movie, honestly. You could just
Exactly.
you can go into whatever movie's out right now. You can go to the Northman and just be like, well, it wasn't Braveheart.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. We don't need to. Just enjoy it. I think I'm okay with shit movies because I want to switch off. I don't want to think about it all the time. I don't always want to have to. I don't want to be spoon-fed things, but at the same time, if I want deep and interesting, I'm not going to watch an MCU movie. If I get it from the MCU, fantastic, because we have got it. But it's not what we're going to get all the time.
It's cool whenever it does happen, like unnatural.
Yeah. Like we got that from Winter Soldier. That was a fantastic, and it will be very hard to ever top that.
I didn't expect
so let's maybe, you know, just enjoy these things for what it is. But obviously that doesn't change that you are either going to like it or not at the end of the day. That doesn't change, and it's okay to dislike things. I hate it when, you know, you'll post 10 movies that everyone hates and you like them and no one bats an eyelid. But the moment you say you dislike something, everyone's like, well, just let people enjoy things. We're allowed to hate this stuff too. I'm allowed to hate it. It's okay. You'll be fine. You'll get along just fine. You will wake up in the morning still breathing. Just because I hate this movie, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Go to bed.
My thing with Doctor Strange was I felt it was. So I only saw it one time. I need to see it again so I can like really let it hit. Because like a first viewing, I don't think it really hits right. But I watched it the first time. It was dope. You know, cinematography, fire. Sam Raimi was doing his thing. The only one fault I had for it was like the Raimi-isms that he put in, like the scene where I don't know. I think it was Wong. He was having a conversation trying to explain to either Steven or maybe it was Chavez about how the Scarlet Witch was doing her sacred rites or whatever, and it does like the weird transition thing where it has her, and then you see like random eyeballs and shit floating behind her. It's like really artistic, but something about it just dates the movie to like the 2000s. I don't know. It took me out of it just a little bit.
I get what you're saying, but I think at the same time we have to appreciate that that's why we get certain directors to do these. Otherwise, you'd have the same person directing everything, right? Because that's why we want different directors to do these things. And I think the thing about Doctor Strange is, especially if you're reading the early stuff, right? It sounds like Doctor Who. Fuck you very much. I can't stand Doctor Who. I think the thing is, all I can think of is wibbly wobbly time bollocks now. What was I talking about? Yeah. Doctor Strange. It captured that early period really well because it is outlandish like that. But it's like Taika Waititi, okay? I think if we're going to attack Multiverse of Madness for those things, right? Which is okay. Mm-hmm. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Yeah. I'm entitled to berate it, though, right? Taika Waititi took. I mean, look at Ragnarok and tell me what comic that's based on. Yeah. I mean, we know what the source was kind of reliant on, but was that really?
No, it was it felt like an independent thing to me. Like it has World War Hulk elements, but they're not trying to recreate that story at all, or very little, in my opinion.
Now, and the thing is, like, but did that make it bad? Right. The thing is with Ragnarok, I think it's a terrible adaptation, but it's one of my favorite movies, and it's okay. It's okay, and the reason why it's such a good movie is because Taika Waititi put his stamp on it. Right. That's what made it so good. It was just very different from any of the other movies that are around it. And I think it's good to feel disconnected from the MCU sometimes because I don't want to say There you go. I don't want to see the same thing over and over again. I don't want it to always feel connected, because Doctor Strange especially shouldn't feel like it's in the same world sometimes, especially if you read like that recent, I say recent, it's probably like 2 or 3 years old now, but like Last Days of Magic, one of the opening scenes shows you what it's like, what the world is like through Doctor Strange's eyes, and it's not what we see.
Remember that.
You remember, right? So it's not
he's
what
got
we see
like the refrigerator with all the octopus
exactly. And when he walks down the street, it's not a Captain America book. It's fucking spirits everywhere and weird paranormal shit. And I think that's what we need in the MCU now, is that these worlds are different for these characters. Like Daredevil's view on things and the world around him is going to be different from Captain America. You know what I mean? And I think we need to feel that in the movie sometimes. So a different director and a different stamp, it can help deliver that. Or I'm completely full of shit. Who knows?
You know what? Speaking of full of shit, the thing that I've seen a lot is a lot of guys are kind of bitching and crying about MCU and She-Hulk is whatever.
Oh,
but
fuck off.
Man, they have been high key. They have been ruining, or at least writing the arcs for these guys have been going downhill for the past couple of movies.
Look, I seen that, and I just think, right, look, no one was angry at Scarlet Witch before this film. Mm-hmm. No one, not a single person had one bad thing to say. And you know what? Scarlet Witch before this film was nothing like her fucking comic book counterpart, so why weren't we complaining? You know why? Because she didn't have a front seat. Now that she has a front seat and she's the most Scarlet Witch she's been in all of her movie appearances, now we have a problem.
Nah, I like.
I'm not saying you specifically, but the people who are saying MCU, it sounds like. No. Share your thoughts, Snapshot. It's fine. It's just because I liked it doesn't mean that's a fact. You know, it's discourse. I mean, Johnny, I know Johnny didn't enjoy it, so we're talking.
I'm not saying I enjoyed it. I just found that's my one biggest fault. That's because every Marvel movie that comes out, everybody says it's like the greatest fucking thing.
I am not that person.
I try not to be that guy. Like Spider-Man came out, I said that, and then I saw a John Papa Sergio post, and he like kind of shit on the movie, and I had to think about it, and I was like, you know what, that was stupid, and it kind of ruined it.
But there's stupid moments in every single film. Watch a horror film and tell me there ain't some stupid moments in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you hear a noise, I'm fucking the other way. I'm not going to investigate. I think, but we need those because we're not watching real life. I don't expect realism from a film about a fucking wizard traveling across the multiverse. I don't want realism. Don't give me it, thank you. That's the reason I'm watching TV. If I want realism, I'll watch the news or a documentary, SeaWorld or something like that. You know what I mean? But I think a lot, and the other thing I think people had a problem with is that the versions of certain characters. I don't want to spoil anything for people that haven't seen it.
Shame on you for not seeing it by now.
Well, the Illuminati, right? And they're like, they brought them in just to kill them off. It's the fucking multiverse. Different versions of them are going to appear again. You know what I mean? They just announced Fantastic Four, spoiler alert, that's in production. John Krasinski,
yes.
He's just finished Jack Ryan.
Yeah. I like.
You know what I mean?
I wonder why.
They've killed one version of him. Doesn't mean they're not going to be back. And for me, She-Hulk, I'm looking forward to that. That looks like the fucking 90s cartoon. I'm all for it. CGI looks terrible, but
just want to address this comment, this gem from Poncho. Tell me you hate women without telling me you hate women. Type ass dudes.
That's why I was laughing. DMC Studios, I completely agree. I do despise that they have labeled the movie universe 616. That's okay. I'm choosing to ignore that's a thing.
All right, so here's my argument on that. What if it's still Earth 1999 or whatever they dubbed the MCU, but just in that universe they still believe that it's 616?
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, like a dream within a dream, I guess. Like that's what I kind of checked it down to.
I'm okay with it just because it's like Star Wars, man. It's like they have to completely wipe everything so that way they can tell their own stories. which is kind of dumb, but at the same time, it's like, I get it. But with 616, this is basically their wipe saying, hey, there's going to be Old Man Logan, even though Old Man Logan has progressed so much further in his storyline and he's gone through different type of timelines and everything.
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, I traveled to the timeline where Old Man Logan's at. And it's like, everybody's going to be like, well, he's done this. Like, well, so why is he like this? It's like, no, dude, it's like a different set of universes that these guys are pulling from. It's
Yeah.
like their 616 is their baseline. So this is the story that you're following.
That's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah.
That is a really good I was just going to blindly despise it, but that's a really good way to look at it. How dare you teach me anything? Snapshot reviews. No, I didn't. I definitely did not. No, I did not go to film school. I just watch a lot of movies. That's all I do with my time. That and make music.
Honorary degree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that will sit there and say, "Oh, the cinematography was really good in that film, and the lighting, and this and that." But that's just what people say to make it sound like they know what they're talking about. Don't listen to them. It's bollocks. It is. We either like the film or we don't. Unless you've been to film school or unless you're one of the people making those films, it's just trash talk at this point, isn't it?
I'm gonna give a hot take here. I honestly, and this is my opinion, and the hill I will die on. I think Multiverse of Madness. It's my number 2 Marvel movie, to be honest with you.
It's mine, but I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange. It's definitely one of those films I really enjoyed, and I'm a huge Sam Raimi fan, so it hit all the points for me, you know. But then again, I like films in the MCU that a lot of people didn't like, you know what I mean? And then I don't like a lot of films in the MCU that a lot of people did. That's it's entertainment, baby. That's how it works. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. You know, Captain Marvel, I really enjoyed that. A lot of people didn't like Brie Larson. I do. I personally really do.
I don't like Brie Larson, but I don't think that that Captain Marvel deserves the shade it gets. Like, everybody just says it's like bottom tier. And I could say, honestly, Thor, maybe between Thor 1 or Thor 2, those are like bottom tier MCU movies for me.
There's another good example. I think Thor 1 was the best Thor film we ever got because it was the closest to what Thor is in the comics and to anything. You know what I mean? So it's like it's what do we want from these films? Because I mean, Dark World I still enjoyed, but yeah, it was a bit shit.
Yeah.
Ragnarok is the fan favorite, but it's not a good comic book movie. Do you know what I mean? It trashes two very prolific Marvel comics. Thor Ragnarok, of that name, from the Avengers Disassembled run, which I think is one of the more lesser known comics that they draw inspiration from, and fucking Planet Hulk. I mean, that's unforgivable, right? It's unforgivable, but you have to separate what we have.
I think there's still a possibility they could revisit those stories and just name it, Planet Hulk, and just kind of treat Ragnarok like, we kind of messed with it a little bit, but still go with like Sakaar and Hulk's wife and all those characters. They could still be able to do that. I mean, if we're getting Secret Wars now, there's a lot of possibilities for us to still get some of those classic stories.
I'm with it, man. I think they're two separate things. If I want comic accuracy or anything like that, I'll read the comic. You know, they still exist. They're not affected. Unless you're Peter Quill. Ooh. But so I don't really care if they change versions of the characters. You know, it doesn't really bother me. As long as they stay true to what that character is. Like, Doctor Strange is not the same as he is in the comic book, but there are certain parts of him that are the same, and you're never going to get it right. They've had 70 odd years, 80 years now to do this in the comics. They're not going to get it right on a 2-hour film. You know what I mean? Facts. Captain America, you're going to tell me that was Captain America you read in Red Menace or Winter Soldier?
No.
Right? But he pulled it off. You know what I mean? Elements of that character exist, and that's all we can be thankful for. Man, when we were kids, we had to put up with David fucking Hasselhoff as Nick Fury, right? Let's just things could be so much worse. Let's just enjoy it, right?
For me as a kid, the dark era of Marvel was like, I mean, if you can say dark era, you could just say pre-MCU would have been like the Raimi Spider-Man movies, all these individual, the Fantastic Four, before we started getting like the universes and shit. That was like the dark era. And then when we got Avengers 1, we were like watching Iron Man '08, and at the end you see fucking Nick Fury, like, oh shit, like they're really trying to do this. Like that was crazy for everybody, but for us, you know, I was probably middle school, maybe. Like that shit was crazy for us.
That makes me feel old.
It might have been. No, it was definitely middle school, not high school. So yeah, middle school for me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was yeah, me too.
I didn't have to do that. My bad.
Hasselbeck.
I mean, it's a guilty pleasure. It is, but I mean, things could be a lot worse.
True. Dude, I honestly think it's a lucrative time to be like a comic book movie like director right now. Like they're making bank and
It's a lucrative time to be a comic book fan, man. Yeah, we are spoiled. We're spoiled.
Yeah, so much so that we just critique every little thing, and it's like you can't just sit there and just enjoy it, man. Like
absolutely. But listen,
I got everything out of it that I want.
It works both ways. You are fully allowed to enjoy these things, and you're fully allowed to dislike them. But be honest about why you dislike them. All right, that's all I say. You know, when people try and hide behind the, as someone mentioned, the whole film school fucking. Oh, it's not. Get out here, man. Just say you don't like it, and be honest. All right, you're not a fucking expert unless you've made a film. Piss off. All right. It is what it is. Just be honest. You know what I mean? People don't do that about music when they're not a musician. So don't pretend to do it about films. You know what I mean?
You'd be surprised.
Oh yeah, you trust me. I'm very, very fucking familiar with it. Everyone's an expert when I released my single. Trust me. Well, it's good, but I have a few suggestions. Fuck off.
No way, dude.
I know you think you know, but I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't walk into your room when you're having a wank and tell you you're doing it wrong. All right. That's how it feels. It's personal. Piss off. I'm telling the story here, not you.
No, I can say I've had that same opinion about certain takes in ACBA, like the group. I'll be like, somebody will come by, like, honestly, when I get the comment like, this doesn't make sense to me, like I immediately go like, my first thought is immediately like, oh, so you stupid? You tell me you stupid then, or something. Like you're rating this critique on your personal interpretation or intelligence. Then I gotta go, hold up, stop.
I think with
sit back and look and maybe see if they got something to say.
With ACBA, I think it's good because for me, I hated criticism. I didn't take it well, but so I think it's important who it comes from.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think maybe it's not right. Maybe it is, but for me, if it's someone who maybe isn't, good at what they're doing, I would be like, maybe you should sit the fuck down before you talk. How dare you speak to me? Kind of thing. No, not like that. But I if it was one of the guys, like Simon or Boog or anyone who would have some genuine feedback for you, Pancho, one of the guys, then I'm receptive to it. You know what I mean? Because they know what they're talking about, and I learn a lot by learning from that critique. But again, it's good because it teaches you how to accept it. Because when you first join the group, and I don't care who you are, it stings. Yep. It's like, you what?
Bro, when I first jumped in, I was like, maybe, I can't remember if I was like 16 or maybe like I had just graduated. I threw my little shitty photo up there, thought it was tight, nothing happened. And then somebody came and like ripped me in the comment section. I was like, man, fuck this group, bunch of elite ass toy dudes. Like, I don't need this. And I like dipped for like maybe a year or two, got better on my own, posting on IG.
I think it's
kind of gassed me up, and then I came back.
It's a right. That's a rite of passage in ACBA. Everyone's got to have that once. Everyone's got to have that little bitch fit once.
It's time to throw this kid in the grinder. You got to go through it, bro.
That's it.
It's because
you know what? For every good solid critique comment I got, when I'm at sitting doing another setup and I'm like posing or something, those same like critiques, those shits will like pop up in my mind again. I'll be like, oh fuck, that's right. Yeah, keep his foot planted. Overexposed. Like those critiques, that if you pay attention and you actually like listen and get like a good, and someone explains it to you right, like that'll be like some education shit that'll stick with you and actually help you on further, setup.
This is it. Yeah, this is it. Snapshot reviews. Why has Hulk only had one solo movie? There's a licensing issue with that, isn't there?
No, two.
He's on
Universal Studios.
So he's basically rented out to Marvel.
Yeah, that's right. No, but he's had technically one MCU solo movie. He's only had
Hulk 08.
Yeah,
the Edward Norton movie.
That's right, but that's still MCU. I mean, yeah.
Poncho, once I got dragged for over a year. Hey, Poncho, I'll just say I'm one of those kids that was coming into a slightly nicer ACBA when I came back, so it wasn't quite as bad when I jumped back in.
It definitely had those kind of points at times.
Yeah,
I think you guys have it easy though. The guys that are newer to the group, or are newer to the group, it's a lot friendlier.
The past 3 or 4 years have shown growth. Before then, 2015 is when the Facebook group originally started. Saw that because Facebook was wilding and just resetting everything. So you go to a group, you see the first post. So 2015 was the first post. Whatever I say, the past 3 or 4 years, it's been a little nicer. But before then,
I want to say around.
It just was what it was, man.
Around 2013, people would be like, "Why is your hairline so thin?" It's like, dude, you just posted a photo about your toys. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This type of shit like that, dude. Like, it was fucking ruthless back like in 2015, 2013, around that area. God damn, man. They just roast on you all the time.
And then I remember like the famous what is it? Keep grinding. Sometimes I used to be hot hearing that, like. But then it was just like, okay, like let me fall back, let me just take that to consideration. So now, like I kind of wish, like if somebody were to tell me that now, I'm like, all right, cool. Then I need to work on a few things. But back then, I was just like, yo, fuck you, mean keep grinding, bro. Like,
it's all changed now. I mean, you've got Diego who started the grind, which is a real handy, good group to get you where you need to be, because maybe sometimes it might get overlooked, because you got to remember there's only really, in comparison to how many members they have in the main group, they've not really got a whole lot of admin when you think of it that way, so people might get missed, whereas you have the grind where if you actively ask for it, you can get a little bit of help, you know what I mean? So things are changing, you know what I mean? They're a lot more receptive to things. I mean, I do think it's on the way to a more healthier environment in that way. It's more encouraging. I mean, you can actually. There are people that post pictures with Photoshop now, so look, we're living in. This is the multiverse of madness, man. This is.
Honestly, though.
Chris, yeah, exactly, Pancho. Yeah.
Yeah.
More likes than your picture had. Yeah.
Oh, I remember those
days. Pancho, the fucking post I'm like low key bitching about right now was a Chris Dowdy comment that had me leave. I had to delete the post. Shout out to Chris Dowdy for keeping the competitive spirit alive in ACB. Good times.
You need a bit. I think you need a bit of that.
You do.
That fear. You need a bit of that fear when doing anything creative. I don't mean that you should necessarily feel competitive to be better than anyone, because it goes hand in hand. It's a shaky concept, but I do think art in some ways there is no real competition. There are definitely levels to how good you are,
You need to
Yeah.
be better than yourself.
always, you know what I mean? But you have to have a healthy fear of what you put out is going to get laughed at. So you got to make sure you put out the best thing that you can.
Yeah.
And I think that can be healthy sometimes because you end up pushing yourself to do better.
No doubt. No doubt. They used to think ACBA was very clicky. The truth is, it was just tough love.
Oh,
Facts. Facts. Yeah, that without that tough love, you don't get better, and you'll see. You can kind of see the lack of tough love from some guys on IG. You know, their posts, and they'll get like 1,200 likes for literally
Yeah,
this.
Instagram
Just new action figure in my hand. Some guys
thrown
do
on
it
the
better than
floor.
others, and then that shit will get like 1,200 or
Yeah.
3,000 likes for whatever reason because the algorithm is rewarding that content.
Yeah, that's it.
And what's crazy is that so many people rip into people like Boog or just anybody else, and it's like
Boog.
if you just like goats them and just ask them, it's like, hey, dude, what do you think of this shot? They'll tell you like, hey, man, like this is ways to improve before you even post it, and dude, sure enough, it's awesome critique, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's super warming and super like happy to help at all times.
But look, the best bit, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says, the best bit about ACBA is watching the guys who get upset at criticism. That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
I don't care about all the awesome toy photography you've taken. I want to see the guy with 200 comments arguing back about why the critique was silly and how art is it's subjective. Yes, it's subjective, but you can still be shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Subject to improvement. Like, come on, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
As a person who just mainly lurks in ACBA right now, like, holy shit, it's so fucking good to see those posts. The ones that have like 200 comments, like, likes, it's like the fucking best, man. Those are great.
And then you read the comments, have fun with that shit, and then you come back like an hour or two later. Mods have turned off comments. For
That's how you know it got really good.
You know what? I anytime I see a post that says like comments have been disabled, I have to go and see what was the nail in the coffin. What was that last fucking comment?
Over there. It's fucking great. Bro, these Jujutsu Kaisen figures are gonna be dope, by the way. At first I wasn't on board, but they're actually pretty awesome. Especially
with these though, they all come out on August. Like that's the only thing about this. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be spending like $600 come August and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge 1/6 collector. I've never really been a big I mean, I have some 1/6 pieces, but I've never been a mad fan of that scale. I just think
anime is so niche whenever it comes to 1/6, but
there
are some gems, dude.
Absolutely. I just think in general, I'm not a huge fan. That does look pretty cool though.
That's a really good face for her, man. I absolutely loved it whenever she went fucking bonkers in that last episode.
The
Gojo that they've teased looks really good.
Yeah,
I'll go to that one next. I even told Fidel, I said out of all these that are coming out, if I had to really pick one, I think this is the one.
Yeah,
like, this is the one I'm gonna end up buying for sure.
I mean, as far as characters go, she's my favorite from the I think first arc or whatever. I watched it all the way up until they went on a break. From the whole show, my favorite impression was she was my favorite character, followed by this guy.
Gojo's really good though. He has some pretty cool accessories, but I thought, hey yo, you got Itadori in there, and like you skimped out like a motherfucker in Itadori. Like you should have gone ham on that one, but they didn't do hardly anything for him, and I thought it was kind of dumb.
I've not seen the Itadori release. Do they have any accessories to turn him into Sakuna or?
No, just the hand, bro. Just the mouth hand, and that's it.
That's they're probably going to capitalize on a separate figure entirely, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool. I hadn't seen that. That's awesome. I didn't even know that they were coming out with the non-masked version. That's cool.
That looks cool.
Go to get your Jordan X. Like I'm trying to hold out because I know 3-0. I know for sure they're gonna do Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like literally trying to buy like a whole bunch of like figures that have to do with like anime or dark fantasy, occultism and stuff like that.
That's my shit, man. Look that shelf right there. That's my shit. Yeah, that's the only Sugana accessory that comes with them is just the hand with the mouth.
Yeah, they did. Considering what the rest of the characters come with, the volume of stuff, that's a bit,
Skimping.
yeah. But I mean, they're not that expensive, are they? I mean, what was that? $150.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's not too bad.
It's not bad, but it's just like they're all slated to come out like in August at the same time.
Ooh.
so it's a $600 hit basically all at once.
That's rent, bro.
It's like, hey man, do you want these figures or do you want to eat for like a week or something?
Hey, bro, put
You
your
can live on
boat
beans.
on, get those oodles and noodles, boiled eggs, carrots, make it look sexy. Called an anime diet.
You got to get yourself the Sasuke of the group, man. Come on.
Yes. Let's see. I'm a bring back the Wild West ACBA. Please do. It's been here we go to commenting again. But for me, it feels like the group's kind of stagnated just a little bit. Like even heat posted by folks that are, created like universally, or I could say universally well done shots. Like say Al Chang, he posted something and that shit had like
One of my
18
favorite.
likes for 18 likes for like, or maybe it was like less than 10 likes or some shit for like a couple hours. I was like, the fuck is going on here?
Wow, Al's probably one of my all-time favorite toy photographers,
Same.
and person as well. He's a great guy, dark sense of humor, fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Love Al.
He gets every other day, but yeah, the dude's awesome.
He's awesome. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't like Multiverse of Madness, but
Yeah.
we can all be wrong at least once.
Simon
I hope he's not watching this.
You can always expect a nice quality shit post from Al every 30 minutes throughout the day.
Absolutely.
Simon Hill is probably like one of my favorite ACBA people that have just been grinding like a motherfucker, dude. He's actually really good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love his shots.
Definitely consistent.
Every single day.
Every day. Dude's hustling.
He's probably gone through about 6 cameras.
Has he? Jesus.
No, that was a bad joke.
Okay.
I was about to say, how you wear down a fucking camera, man?
Well, they do. They have a shutter life, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They have a certain amount of shutters or shots that they can take.
Oh shit!
I had no fucking idea.
No, me neither. This is news to me. Like, thank you for educating me, gentlemen.
How do you check that? Do you just see one day your shots are coming out like fucked up, and you just realize, hey?
I'm not even entirely sure. It was Simon that told me.
Yeah.
He asked me one day, "Have you checked what the shutter life is on your camera yet?" And I was like, "You fucking what? What do you mean?" And he explained, and I was like, "I'm not going to check it because
That
don't want to know."
I don't want to know. That thing has been with me for a while now. I'll be gutted when it breaks, or if it. I don't know what happens when the shutter life ends, but I'm guessing it's not good.
Are you available?
That must be on certain type of cameras. I don't know if it's for all of them, but again, I'm no expert, so if anyone has any insight in the comments, that would be great.
I have my camera with me right now, but the battery literally just fucking died. I was hoping to go through some sides because I finished up that hedgehog shot that I had sent you last night, and I was getting ready to go shots while we were doing this here, but guess that's not happening.
I'm really. I like that. What was it? It's Jax, isn't it? The Sonic line. I think they're really underappreciated, but you know what I would kill for is an SHF line of classic Sonic figures, man. I would go mad for that.
I think maybe they scared because the Mario figures didn't do too good from what I remember. They like peg warmed. People were almost.
They did, and you can get them for real cheap now as well. They are literally just sitting around.
It's a shame. Sonic would have been dope. You know what I want? Cool. I want a SHF Shadow the Hedgehog because for me, the super edgy independent game where he has a guns and he says "damn" every 5 seconds. That was like iconic shot for me. Like
basically a shoot 'em up, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was in like middle school when that dropped. So for me, man, this guy says "damn" and hell when he shoots guns and shit. That was like, this is finally a badass Sonic I can get behind. And like looking back at it now, it's like low key, cringe, corny. But if I could get just a gun-toting hedgehog and pose him like killing mercs and shit,
cool.
Just for ridiculousness' sake, I would do that.
Personally,
this is an interesting line. Sorry.
Personally, I want the ugly Sonic from the Chip and Dale movie. I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
That's a good shout.
I'm gonna just bring up like one last subject before we just call it a day. But yeah, like I'm kind of with you on this one, Marty. Like Premium DNA bringing out the Earthworm Jim line. Like how does anybody feel about that?
I don't know much about the company. I know they've released Banjo-Kazooie, didn't they, as well? Which I didn't know they did. I don't know much about them, and I'm not going to lie. If this had been a year or two ago, I'd have probably bought the entire line. Now, I don't know. If it was Boss Fight Studios, I'd probably be a lot more tempted to invest. I don't really know. At nearly $50 per figure for a line, I have no idea. But like those joints at the hip, looks like he's not going to be able to do much. I don't know. Unless it's a soft rubber, I don't know. But I'm probably not going to. I'll look at them and I'll think, oh, that's nice. But I'm not fucking buying it.
Now, have you ever heard of a company called, I think it's called Megapolis? Have you ever heard of that company?
Yeah, there was a big controversy for you guys over there, wasn't it? They were a distributor that basically fucked everyone over, weren't they?
So basically, this is them rebranded. Like this is their new company.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So not only that, like these figures have went up for pre-order like a few days ago. But prior to that, like they released pictures of the Battletoads that they said that they were going to come out. Like the only
that's been forever since they've advertised those, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nah, they finessing people, man. I wouldn't do it.
Nah. Like you guys are asking for the price tag of like those ultimates that come from Super 7, which aren't even that good. But I mean. That's a hefty price tag for a third-party figure, man. That's
one you might not even get. Yeah.
It's putting a lot of trust in those guys, and it's not.
My question is, why would Earthworm Jim give these guys of all people a fucking license? Like the track record.
Apparently, the license for Earthworm Jim is like super cheap. That's what the guy who owns the company, he said that in an interview. And it's just like.
A lot of these licenses you can just pick up and just make, dude. It's not.
The thing is that no one's doing anything with it, so why would it be expensive? You know what I mean? And Pancho just answered our question.
You can see the shutter count and the XIF data in any photo you take. You'll know when you reach the end when you start seeing artifact. Damn.
There you go.
I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna take a picture so I can remember this shit. Hold
on. I'll put it back up.
There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna check that shit as soon as I get home and get some battery. Get something right quick.
These figures also don't look. They look posable, but they don't look like you can put their arms down all the way. They don't look like you can move their legs, and they're like not that dynamic. It's just
I was already. Skeptical about whether or not I would get them based on just I don't know the company. You know what I mean? If it was Boss Fight Studios, like the Bucky O'Hare stuff that they done was just fantastic. If it was them, I would probably be a lot more inclined to. Interesting soundtrack. Be a lot more inclined to maybe buy something from them. But now that I've heard it's those cunts. No. Oh, sorry. Forgot.
Ah,
was,
there we go. He said it, ladies and gentlemen. He said it.
Those guys. I probably no. I'm definitely not gonna risk that.
With the accent, Marty, like that shit comes off like smooth butter, bro.
It's a fine art to, you can trash someone face to face and they don't realize it at first. It takes a while for it to register. They're like, is he complimenting me?
Perhaps I am a cunt.
In a nice way.
Yeah, maybe I am a cunt.
That's why, honestly, they look good, but then at the same time, when you already have like that much of a stigma of the company that you were beforehand, and then you're just gonna try to use the money that you owe people anyway to make new stuff, it's just like, yo, that's I can't support that. I can't do it.
No.
Yeah.
Is that guy choking a weasel or something?
What is going on? Yes, sir.
Damn, what should you be watching? What's going on there?
I mean, it's a very suspect looking image. I mean,
I don't know how
definite 1K ACBA group material.
Hey man, I have my days where I come home mad and I need to watch videos of cute animals. Like, no judgment.
Just a guy strangling his
pet
weasel. Yeah.
Pop goes the weasel.
I forgot. You know what, Johnny? You missed it. We had a picture of Boma breastfeeding while she was like going through some heavy shit. Like
Boma breastfeeding heavy shit. All right, I y'all have to refresh me on that in the after show or something, because I'm not.
Yeah, the Costa that Johnny's in is now closing, so he's got to vacate the premises probably.
No, I'm waiting it out. I'll probably be all right.
But no, like the same thing with Earthworm Jim is just like they already showing pictures of something that I guess nobody is probably going to see the light of day. I mean, the plus thing about these, I don't know how this site works. So if anybody is kind of cautious, I would just suggest that just wait for Big Bad to have these go up on that site, because at least you don't have to pay nothing down. Like,
yeah,
yeah, they'll fuck BBTS out of their money, not you out of yours.
I'm so skeptical whenever it comes to some of these third-party companies that are just coming out with so many like announcements and then they haven't released anything. Like the guys who made that Killer Croc, or I think. Oh,
I know what you're talking. The TMNT third party, isn't that? This is Kong Toys as well, isn't it? Or no, it's not. It's but they've done the RAF or Leonardo, and they're doing the Leatherhead as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they haven't.
Looks great, but
figures, but yeah,
that's it.
They look awesome. It's hard to something that people don't have in their hands yet.
This is it. The sad thing about this is that with the type of product it is, or Earthworm Jim, etc., you're going to get a lot of people buying into it who maybe don't know about the rebrand. That's the sad thing. But I think third party, there are some really good, like for Dragon Ball collectors. I mean, Demoniacal Fit and Kong Toys have been a real good thing for the collectors, at least for me, releasing versions of figures that we probably wouldn't have got from SHF, and then all that does is it prompts SHF to give us better versions of them officially at some point as well. So it can be a good thing.
Like the competition definitely helps. Like Black Series, there's no competition, so they've been fucking collectors over for forever now.
Yep.
It shows.
If they start coming out with more of these platformer figures, if they come out with a Jack and Daxter,
that would be cool.
I might jump on that, even though it's a presumably shit company. If they come out with a Jack and Daxter, though, I might have to jump on that, like, because I fucking love that series, man.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, we know what your soul is worth. One Jack and Daxter.
Jack and Daxter, bring it back. They have like 132 Ratchet and Clank games, but there's only 3 Jack and Daxter games. It's like, okay.
Shit, I would take a good, decent Ratchet and Clank figure.
That too. That'd be all right.
Shit, they did the Deadlocked game where he's kind of mostly masked up and mostly has like an armored type look.
Listen,
No problem. I do that.
give me Taifu, Wrath of the Tiger, and you've got my money.
Man of taste, I see.
A man of taste. All
Love
right.
that. Now that
Man,
deserves a sequel. That deserves a sequel.
Yeah. No, that's rich. These platformers, man, miss them.
Yeah.
So, what's the other one?
Show one more thing right quick.
Ooh, yes. Sold.
Hopefully that means Gyu is like right around the corner too, because I fucking love Gyu.
They can. It doesn't really matter to me because I can't fucking get a hold of these anyway. So
At all?
no, and they're incredibly expensive over here as well. So for me, it's a shame because I would love the whole line, but there you go.
They're tough as shit to get hold of, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that we could get these guys from SHF, even though Figma has its license right now, or is it just kind of solely their shit right now?
Isn't there's like 3 different lines going on at the same time for Demon Souls?
There's Buzzmod, Figma. I don't know about a third line.
Bandai are doing the Figure Art Zero, aren't they? The statues.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I know that much.
I feel like there's like 3 different ones because I looked it up one day and I was like, why is there like 3 different Tanjiros that are all posable? And some of their gowns, like this checkerboard, like some of them look good and some of them are kind of trash. But one looks kind of decent.
Is that Ivan? Is it? He's just sent me a message.
That's Ivan.
He's blowing it up.
You know, Ivan knows about the imports.
I'm a big import fan myself, but as long as it's done well. But I think companies, where Mezco have been delivering a specific type of quality, I still think there's a lot of issues with them in terms of like the functionality of the articulation and things like that, especially when you've got characters like Iron Fist. Yeah, exactly. Spider-Man doesn't work well in that line, I don't think, although the new one looks a lot better. I think that you've got these third-party companies that are coming out now, like Pocket World 112 and Limb Toys, who are just doing some insane things with that kind of formula, like the soft goods and yeah. I forgot what I was going to say.
Didn't Limb Toys do the Matrix? They're doing the Matrix guys, right?
Yeah, is that Patriot Toys or it's one of them. There's millions of them.
Yeah. Whoever's making those shits, they're doing pretty good, but we need some stuff with like a different. I want a Morpheus that actually has a little like weight to him. I don't want just like a slim body and a suit Morpheus. I want him to actually have a little weight to him.
To look like him. Yeah. It'd be cool. I mean, that's the thing, especially with like Matrix, and you've got the mask. Someone's doing the mask. What's the other one? There's loads. Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black.
I'm really tempted by that. I'm really, really tempted by that.
We haven't heard anything from it since. It's kind of like we're basically just waiting on some dude in China just to post in-hand pictures, and then everybody places the order at the same time. That's how it goes, man. I'm ready for it though. I mean, just the concept of it. Men in Black, they hunt fucking aliens. That's all you need. You post an ACBA shot of them hunting fucking anything, you're done.
It will work with any setting as well. That's the thing. You don't have to have an entirely new fucking set of dioramas constructed for it.
And it's just like almost every creature in like every toy line would like mesh well with those figures.
Yeah. Although it'd be cool if we got like a Mikey or something like that, or like the Edgar the giant bug, or that'd be cool. But I'm sure those old they had the old Men in Black figures, which were pretty cool. You had the Jeeves. What was it? Jeeves. That was it. Tony Shalhoub, the news agent guy. You had the play set with him that just, if you flicked a switch, it blew his head off.
I do
remember that.
Those. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some cool stuff that might work if you got it painted up by a pro to make it look better. But some cool stuff.
Also, Ghostbusters, man. Ghostbusters deserves just as much as love. Like, I don't know. I feel like Hasbro. I don't think they know what to do with the lines.
It's a shame because I really like that line. I think it's underappreciated. They have their gems. I think Ray and Egon, especially in that line, that first wave, were absolutely fantastic.
Also, Egon, the 2-pack from the end of the movie. It's
really cool. Yeah. Really cool.
That's the only one that I own from Hasbro. That's a really good one, though.
It is, yeah. I've got the whole line, and I really enjoy them. I think what they should do is maybe branch out and start giving us different versions, because there's only, I mean, come on, how many versions of the movie figures do we need now? You know, we've got them all. If you give me Bill Murray as an old man, I don't need another Bill Murray Ghostbuster Peter Venkman from the movie ever again. All right?
Yeah.
He's an old man now. Where can it go from there? All right. But real Ghostbusters would be fantastic in that line. I would love that.
Yeah. Huh?
The Diamond Select did them, but
Right.
you know what Diamond Select are like. There's no, don't touch them. Don't even look at them. They might break.
They could give Hasbro could give us a hat instead of that fucking proton pack that they gave us. They could have gave us a 1/12 scale Ecto one, and that would have been either the movie from like Afterlife or even one of the earlier ones. Everybody
would have been great. Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't come out with the 1/12 Ecto one. Honestly, with
Yeah.
all the stuff that Hasbro's been doing.
I'd love a line of Extreme Ghostbusters as well. I really liked that. But it's a shame because it's such a prolific staple of pop culture.
Yeah,
It got a bum rap with the merchandise. I mean, everything except action figures.
Yeah.
But they were onto something. They really were onto something with that. What's it? The Plasma series.
what about the Girl Busters? With the SNL chick as action figures.
We don't talk about those.
They
could use the Chris Hemsworth head sculpt as like the fucking secretary.
I gotta say, right, that is a good point. I tried to like it. I really did.
I'm not even defending it. The movie's trash, but as action figures, I would buy them probably just to.
I would probably buy Holtzman. I would probably buy Holtzman. That would be about it. That's the stupidest fucking film I've ever watched in my life. It is. And I get it's another world, but when you make something or create something or tell a story, stay true to the world you're trying to create, right? And the problem I had with it was one particular scene, okay? You're a Ghostbuster, you're an established Ghostbuster by this point, right? Mm-hmm. Established fucking Ghostbuster in your headquarters with Ghostbusters equipment, right?
Right.
So why, when a ghost breaks into your fucking headquarters full of fucking ghostbusting equipment, to you are a Ghostbuster, do you run past the ghostbusting equipment on the wall and hide in a fucking bathroom with a wooden door between you and the ghost when you're a paranormal expert? And ghosts can go for fucking walls.
Well,
what are you doing?
It doesn't have to make sense. It's just a movie, something, whatever.
That's when I went. I was like, "Oh my god, who writ this film? Who writ this film?" If that was the original 4 Ghostbusters, or a Reitman directed and written movie, that ghost is fucked. You just walked into my house with all of my shit. You're gone. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
It was dumb. Like,
that's not the worst part of that movie. Yeah,
I've only seen it one time. Typically, like I brought the DVD. Don't know what. Oh, you know what? Because I didn't see it in theaters. I heard so many people like say it was terrible. I was like, you know what? I don't got to go see this. I'll watch Transformers, whatever the hell else was out then. Saw that. Got the DVD for the Ghostbusters, and I haven't touched that shit since. I've only seen it the one time.
Look, they had everything. They had the right cast. That was a good cast. It was, like that. They were a good cast. The problem is the director's shit. I mean, I don't find any of his films that funny. Bridesmaids was good. That was good. But like the rest of his films are shit. I mean, subjectively, of course. I'm not saying that, but I don't find him funny. And he had a good cast and he fucked it. So
Afterlife, though, was great.
Loved it. One of my favorite movies.
They could maybe they could give them a chance at at Redemption with like a streaming series where they actually write them better. I think
for those actors, the time's passed. I don't think they'd even return to the franchise. To be fair, if they were, you know what I mean. I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, fuck that, because it's doomed. The problem is, it's like any fandom or fan base. No one was accepting it before it even come out, regardless of how good it was going to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was looking forward to it, but I disliked it because it was a bad movie, not because it was women, because it's a bad film.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been successful regardless, because a lot of the fandom were very toxic about that movie. You know what I mean? Very fucking toxic. And I think people forget that sometimes. It was doomed to fail.
So toxic. I did not give it a shot. I just waited to get it for $5 from Walmart.
Yeah, but like, DVD. I think it's the problem as well. Is no one was really willing to give it a chance. You know, that's the problem.
It's like with any Star Wars movie that comes out.
That's it. And again, I think Star Wars. I love all the new films. I went to the cinema to see the what you call them? I'm not that old, but the Phantom Menace. I've seen it in the cinema. 1990. What was that?
97, 98,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't you just born around then? Anyway.
Pretty much. Yeah. 97.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I enjoyed all that. I loved them. I think it's the internet. The problem is the internet creates too many experts. That's the problem. True. Everyone's an expert now.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just dislike a film. You don't like it because you don't like the cinematography. You don't like it because you don't like the performance. You know what I mean? It creates all these experts in fields that you really know nothing about. You know what I mean?
Even worse than that, people don't like it because they've seen multiple posts with 600 laugh reacts, so they automatically just
right. That's it, and that's the other thing. You've got YouTube channels that tell you what your opinion should be, right? So you can tell the guys as well, because they are regurgitating
those same opinions.
Yeah. And you can tell, because it's like, hold on, man, you don't talk like that. Where have you got this? Where have you got that from? This is not your opinion. You just decided you don't like it, and now you need to know why. So you're watching.
I don't know if you listen to not like his music, but just T.I. in general. But how he talks.
I love him as a personality. I've never listened to a song. I follow the Breakfast Club and a few of those other like radio things, and just because I love the personalities on it. I've never listened to a song of T.I., but I can tell you a lot about him.
But like the way he talks, like he uses every big word and shit like that. That's the type of energy I get from a lot of these dudes with the opinions on every fucking.
Yeah, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's okay to dislike something,
brother. I would tell you that the status of these films, just that whole energy is. Wow! Like, come on, man.
Yeah, he's great though. I think he's a good character. I mean, aside from all the weird rapey shit that he does, but cancelled. I forgot what I was saying. I'm really hungover and I need to go to bed.
Yeah, Marty, it's only 9 or 10 o'clock over.
Yeah, well, it's 9:30 here now.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever talked to anyone for 2 hours and 23 minutes. I don't even talk to my family for that long.
I'm honored and I'm very thankful, Marty, and it was a pleasure really hearing you say cunt. Been trying to hear you say that for the longest, and you finally said it. Johnny, you missed it.
Beautiful word.
That's not T.I. taking plat. That's Tip Harris, baby.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's been good to speak to you guys semi face to face. Johnny, you're not just a cartoon character behind a profile picture.
Always a surprise. I get half the time someone be like, "Yo, I didn't know you were fucking black, man." Yeah, surprise every fucking stupid profile picture I got is typically a black dude. So, I guess you could not tell, but it is what it is.
I mean, if it's just comic book characters, what? I mean,
True.
You know what I mean? One of my favorites is Blade. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not black. Do you know what I mean? I didn't ever think that about you. I didn't think, I didn't have an impression. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
it's weird because it's like when you can't see someone, I find it hard to come up with an impression of what you may or may not look like. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, that's literally why my profile was like that. Like, I would not have a Facebook at all. Yeah. I literally created the shit to order something online from like Ageless Geeks. And then I started getting into the ACBA shit. I didn't expect to get as deep into that as I am now. So that whole little fucking profile I got was meant to just buy shit. Like, I purchased an account. That's what I wanted to do. Nothing else.
And here you are.
Now I am just, doing this.
In a leather jacket and a vest, sitting in Costa, talking to me.
Of all places, man.
Exactly. No, it's been a real pleasure. It's nice. Like I said, I've known Fidel and Nick for quite a few years now, and Johnny, I think probably about two or three years yourself.
Yeah. Well, before you go, Marty, I just want to put on my douchebag sunglasses while I'm indoors.
Look at him.
My little
lady killer. Lady killer. Look at him.
Man, no, I'm
assuming you're into ladies. That is. Sorry, not allowed to assume these.
Lady exclusive, unfortunately for some. But
okay,
just ladies, man. But I guess I didn't make that clear on my profile either.
Well, it is all dudes. It is all dudes you had on your profile picture. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is facts.
Yeah.
So Marty, before we get out of here, like, is there anything you want to say, or like tell people where to follow you at, or like tell them like what to look out for as far as your singles go and stuff like that?
I'm available. I've got a few singles out already. The Calling, which was the most recent one, which had national radio play recently, which is pretty cool. That's it. That's the one. You can find me on Instagram, all major streaming platforms. iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer. I'm on everything worldwide. So just Instagram Martin Farrell Music, or Facebook again Martin Farrell Music. Just search Martin Farrell; it should come up. Luckily, there's no one else with that name. It was cleverly, nobody yet. I will have a new single out either end of June. And then I'm probably going to pace it to concentrate on some live shows that I have coming up that I'm very excited to announce. Can't announce it just yet. So really, building up to the release of the album, which will probably be beginning of 2023. Some cool things going. Just side note, Pancho, thank you very much. It's crazy. Hopefully we can do one of these together at some point. Any support and all support is greatly appreciated. And I have to say, it's been an incredible thing. It's only my second single release, and some of the things that I've already had come of it have just been insane for Marty, the amount of time.
Let me just, while I have you here, I know you're trying to get out, but let me just give you this little nugget. You, keep promoting, man. That's the only way people are going to see your shit. Like, you might share it once, I forget, and then I see it again somewhere else. Like, oh fuck, reminds me to share it or something. But like TikTok, that type of shit, people are using literally any fucking song they can to try and shoot their little videos. If you can get on just one decent one and somebody kind of uses it, and then everybody's just stealing that same song, if you can
absolutely
get it to land, you got something cooking, man.
Yeah, I'm in the worst. I need to jump on TikTok. It's just the thought of me having to film myself doing something ridiculous just for the sake of it makes me feel dirty. No, I'm not going to lie.
It doesn't even have to be like that. Like doing like stupid dances and stuff is grown beyond that. Just people talking shit followed by song, little 30-second. It's almost like maybe an hour, 30, 40 minutes of work.
I'm gonna look to I'm gonna try and develop something in terms of like music video things. I'm building up to one of the releases. I'm gonna really concentrate on in terms of like, you know, a real proper music video, etc. But because I have to do it all myself, I want to remain as independent as possible. Because like touring and things like that, I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because I have a young son, and I'm a very family orientated person, so I will not be doing anything that's going to take me away from him. You know what I mean? So I'll control the amount of shows and things that I do. Streaming wise, Snapshot, yeah, going great actually. The new single just hit around 5,000 streams. Which for your second single for what, you know, an unknown artist is it's fucking insane, and I do credit that to the toy community really banding together and helping me share this stuff, because for a lot of UK artists, their scope is limited to the UK, you know.
Yeah.
So having all of you guys all over the world share my music has done way more for me than I can really. So when I do say on my post that I'm eternally grateful, I really mean it. It's, you know, it's an incredible thing. And it's funny because I get more streams from the US than I do in the UK, which is, I guess, considering the type of music, it makes sense. But yeah, it's going good. It's going really good. Like I said, I was featured on BBC Introducing, which I'm sure if you have, you know, someone mentioned Doctor Who, but BBC is a huge thing over here. So that was a very big deal for me. And I've got some big festival news to announce soon. But yeah, I'll be sharing a stage with some rather popular bands shortly. I can't wait to announce it.
Oh yeah,
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Man, well, thank you again. Thank you again for like joining this episode of Put It in the Cart. Like, finally able to do it live, and I didn't mess up.
Anytime.
And again, thank you as well, Johnny Quick and Mr. Fidel, Commander Kid Bash Murillo himself, as always, for joining us. And like that, we're gonna have to exit off on some stage music.
All right.
This is awkward.
There we go. I guess y'all didn't hear Top Gun Maverick put this as the outro song at the end of the movie.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
And for everybody watching back at home, thank you again for watching another episode of Put It in the Cart. See you later.
Peace.
We don't just sit here for